Did you hit the button?
I did hit the button.
Nice. It better be going, dude. I don't want to wait no more.
I think it's going.
No more lost internet from last week, right?
Yes. Hey, guys, welcome back to another RDX podcast. One of the biggest Xbox podcasts in the world. It's because of you. We already got 400 people live in the chat waiting. And again, guys, thanks for everything you do. Share this out. Hit the like button. Help us out a little bit. Tell a friend.
Mario Kart Double Dash for the GameCube.
Okay, and I've got a Mario Kart Double Dash thing that just popped up. My bad. So again, guys, thanks for everything that you guys do. We got a bunch of great topics, a phenomenal panel, phenomenal guest. Again, I say it every week, but this week we do have Hidden Xperia. We'll get to his introduction and, of course, a lot more. But again, got to thank everybody that shows up, powers the show, makes it what it is. I want to start with some introductions to the panel. Colt Eastwood, buddy, are you there? How you been? Welcome back. We weren't here last week. Internet went down, but we're back.
Yeah. Thanks for leaving me behind. I really wanted to do the show, but yeah, it's good to be here. Super excited this week to see PlayStation 5 games running on Xbox Series X.
Yeah, that's that good stuff. Hey, we've also got Remixed Gaming. He says, we live. Thank you so much, sir. And again, everyone in the chat. We've also got D-Batch. He's going to be here, I think, in a few minutes. He's running a little late, but we do have Fonzarelli, buddy. Grounded Gamer, what's going on? Good to have you back again.
Yes, definitely. I can't wait for the show. Let's just get it started, man.
All right. We've also got xCloud, Tim Dog, floating down from the clouds. How you been, buddy?
Good. Happy to be here. I'm excited that we got Mr. Halo Hidden Xperia here and ready to go. Just excited to have a good show.
Yes, we will. Zalker, how you been, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing really good. Today's awesome. Last week sucked because we didn't have the show. You don't realize how much you miss it when you don't do it. And I just sit there. I'm like, what happened? Where's everybody? I felt like a lost puppy in the corner, dude. But no, it's great to be back. Chad, I'm happy we're all here. And we have a lot of shit to talk about. So let's do this.
We do. We've also got Mr. Hidden Xperia, big Halo YouTuber. Again, a lot of people are looking forward to the show. Over the past several weeks, we've had we've had Hidden Xperia on this week. We've had Alana Pierce on a few weeks ago. I know you covered that in a video, Hidden Xperia. And then we've had two game developers, Chris Grimmel and of course we've had Optimus Code, really good guy. And before that we had fucking Bill Stillwell, the guy, the hardware, the xCloud and back compat lead for Microsoft Xbox, and we're just continuing the trend of great guests. So maybe tell people kind of what you're about, and thanks for coming on, man.
First, thank you very much for that intro. That was very flattering. I'm Hidden Xperia. I make Halo videos, primarily Halo lore, but I also cover like Halo news and do like sort of just general Halo discussions. If it wasn't already abundantly clear, I'm a massive Halo fan. I have been for like 16 years now, like most of my life. Halo is quite literally my life. So I'm just looking forward to the future. Fingers crossed for the best to come out of Infinite. Looking forward to July to see some stuff, hopefully. But other than that, I'm just happy to be here.
And he told us before we went live, guys, that Locke is his favorite character ever in all of Halo.
Best, most fleshed out character ever. He can replace Chief any day, man.
Hashtag kill Locke. So, I mean, in 2013, real quick, I guess I get your perspective on this because I don't think that I've heard it. 2013 was a hellhole of a year for Xbox, and a lot of stuff went south there. And what was your take when you heard all the DRM stuff? Like, I don't know exactly where you were. You probably weren't really on YouTube or anything yet then. I don't know exactly the long-term history of your channel, but from your perspective, man, when you heard about the DRM stuff and all the, holy shit, like all the stuff that happened in 2013, real quick, what was it? What was your take on all that? How did that affect you as a fan?
Well, I've been an Xbox fan now for like ever. Like I never had a Sony console. I was Xbox from like the get-go. And I was like I was honestly an Xbox fanboy at that point. And at first I was kind of like in denial. Like I remember ardently defending the Xbox One.
Oh,
and
no.
Then I started dude, I was one of those, and I hate to admit it, right? I hate to admit it. But then as time passed, like it got closer and closer to launch, I was like, hang on, some of these decisions are really stupid.
You're like, turns out DRM ain't that good.
It turns out not being able to share games with my friends isn't a good thing. Like, imagine that, dude. But no, I was already really burnt out because I personally was not happy at all with Halo 4. Halo 4 really tarnished my love for Halo. specifically the multiplayer, because but at that time I was massively into the competitive scene.
So you were coming out of Halo 4,
game,
you weren't the happiest ever, and you're like, holy shit, what is this? Used games? What? Dude, what?
Dude, it was like I was already down, and this is just the execution. This is the curb stomp to finish me.
Major
off,
Nelson
like,
ran up and curb stomped your ass, yeah.
pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I mean, I did get it at launch though. I did end up getting it at launch. And I don't know, it wasn't great, let's be honest.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? We all kind of came through it, and honestly, you probably agree with this, but Microsoft wouldn't be quite what they are today if not for that 2013.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the way that Phil Spencer has turned this around is like astronomical. The guy deserves like the most insane props ever for what he's done with the platform. Pro
consumer decisions, and people are mad because the games go here and there, but they don't understand their favorite company's doing the same thing. They just don't see it yet. But you know what? We're going to get into some topics here. I'm going to give some shout outs to stuff. I got to give a shout out to Killer in the super chat. He says RDNA 3 Zen 4 features and more coming to PS5, and it also makes waffles. You know, we're going to cover that real quick. Is D-Batch here yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on, buddy? I mean, thanks for joining us. We're kind of doing some intros here, and we already got 1,000 people watching. I mean, hey, welcome back to the show, D.
Hey, how's it going? My son just walked into the room. No, it's a little hairy in here.
All right, man. Yeah, just mute and come back. All right. I got to give a shout out to some of my patrons real quick. The shout out tier. Snake Eyes, hey, big shout out to him. Assassin Lupo, we've also got Alec Gamer 4, Frosted That Shit Dave, Tony Stark, RDX, shout out to him. We need to get online and talk soon. Pixel Witcher, shout out to him. KY Bob, all you guys, I can't say it every time. Foreign Object, Teo, John Blue, Vec Boss, Deviator X, Obi-Wan FTW, Scout Trooper 74, Centurion 1307, Real Deal Neil, Suicide King, Tasteless Genie, Michael Bowen. We've also got Guillermo, the Legend, Cavillo, Chanagram, Naughty Nubbin, Alfonso Hogan, A Squad, and of course Slim 73. And I'll have giveaway details for another game on Patreon here soon. Sorry, I've been like I said in videos, going through some bullshit, wasting a lot of time with people I shouldn't fucking waste time with. So long story short, I'm getting my shit together, and I'm gonna have a game giveaway soon on Patreon for you guys. Thank you for everything you do, and you guys are awesome. D-Batch, you kid out of the room yet? He's still asking. Yeah. Okay. I want to go into, as a warm-up subject here, right? Because we got so many good subjects today, so many great topics. I want to go into the PS5 RDNA 3 stuff real quick, too, because you can't, I mean, even Jez Corden, shout out to Jez, he said, you know, Xbox didn't fuck with RDNA 3. They skipped over to 4, 5, and 7, and whatever, you know, they built in George Foreman grill. What was your thought about this RDNA 3 talk when in reality it's more likely that Xbox and PlayStation 5 have little custom implementations in them that will just make their way into a future architecture, perhaps? What was your thought on this whole RDNA 3 bullshit that people are trying to push with the PS5 and all that stuff, acting like it's going to really make a huge difference or any of that stuff?
Oh, without all the drama, in a nutshell, people do things, you know, to get attention, and you know, a lot of gamers right now, or a certain subset of gamers, are upset that Sony's PlayStation 5 is less powerful on paper, whatever, than the Xbox Series X. So every time somebody throws this rumor out there, you know, they gravitate to it without, you know, taking the time to really think it through. And like RDNA 3 features, like PlayStation 5, it's ridiculous. They're both custom RDNA 2 architecture. I think it's kind of a play on words, semantics, to be honest with you. I don't think there's any exclusive RDNA 3 features that aren't already in RDNA 2 in both consoles, to be honest with you. I think RDNA 3 is going to have some features of RDNA 2, but there's no exclusive subset of features of RDNA 3 in either console, not the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. They're custom architecture based off of the RDNA 2, you know, architecture. Yeah, that's it.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like I think it was Smart Shift. I think the origin of Smart Shift, it's kind of like how it came from either mobile or I don't remember how exactly it came about, but they ended up using it in a console in an actual architecture form for it'll be in RDNA 2 GPUs maybe, or who knows, they might find ways to implement certain things here or there from these boxes into future architectures. And that doesn't mean that this is now already RDNA 3. It's like, no, it is what it is, right? There's no performance leap. There's no IPC leap. There's nothing. It doesn't do anything. So it's the same people every day talking about, you know, trying to close the gap somehow. Super Gee, by the way, Tim Doggy says he's going to miss you this year's E3. best Xbox podcast around. Stay safe and healthy, guys. Thank you so much, Super Geek. Do appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, let me say this real quick. I think the fight for power is just over. Accept the specifications for each system for what they are, and let's battle it out with the games now. I think it's time for the game to be shown, and let's battle out with the games.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, Cripson, by the way, in the super chat says just showing support, and of course, Tony Bryant says, "Woo, greatest podcast on the net. Glad to have you all here, and of course, good to see no one
do that.
No, we can't redo it. Okay, I said woo. All right, it is what it is. Don't interrupt Tony's super chat.
Woo.
He says,
all right, go ahead with your half-ass woo.
All right, so basically, thanks, Tony. Do appreciate it, buddy. Got to get into the topics. But yeah, the RDNA 3 stuff, there's a reason we didn't talk on this. The reason we didn't speak on it, we thought it was kind of silly. People can say what they want, but at the end of the day, if there's anything RDNA 3 about anything, it's because they're going to use stuff in these custom architectures, basically these mesh-up features, and maybe put it into a future one. And by the way, we got some Gears Tactics gameplay today. I was supposed to have a review out for this the day the embargo lifted. I've had this game for 3 weeks, and I since I'm going through shit, I didn't get through it, and I wanted to give you guys kind of a mini review later on the show. It'll be a few minutes, but when it comes down to it, let's get into some more interesting topics now that we kind of got that out of the way real quick. Don't pay no mind to it. Performance delta's there. It is what it is. Series X games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Colt Eastwood, this game is going to be big. Its engine is very open to the engine. The developers are actually talking about running on Series X, stuff like that. They said the engine's actually very open to new technologies and that it is very, very scalable. This is all part of x86 and how they're going to improve visuals, scalability, and all that stuff. Gameplay design is not limited because the lowest common denominator, obviously, in PC is pretty low. Also, the load times will actually improve the experiences and basically reduce the friction there of the gamer, and the experience was one thing they kind of put focus on. And then apparently it's supposed to run it at 4K on the Xbox Series X, but we're thinking that's probably like a dynamic or scaling 4K at 60 FPS. What are your thoughts on Valhalla and everything you've seen of it, everything we know? We'll kind of go around.
Well, I'm just wondering, where have we heard that before, that it would be scalable and look best on the higher end hardware? Where have we heard that?
I don't know.
One of the first reactions we heard from was like, oh, Assassin's Creed, but it's going to run on the 2013 Xbox One. No thanks. Like, what have you been playing? Like, what big AAA multiplats have you been playing lately? Like,
did Odyssey run on the base Xbox One, and why does that look so good on PC?
Shout out to all PC gamers.
Yeah, this guy not excited to play Cyberpunk because it's going to run on a 2013 Xbox? Yeah. No. My high-end PC is going to look way better than any Xbox, even the Series X. That's kind of stuff that people are. So that this stuff doesn't matter. But no, it doesn't. I've been playing through Origins DLC, and that game is 2017 looks fantastic.
It looks so good.
The 60 frames thing is what's going to freaking blow people's minds who aren't used to seeing a big AAA open world game running beyond 30 frames. And I think a lot of people don't get to experience that, that don't play like mostly on a PC.
Like when people see this open world game, this Assassin's Creed game running at 60 FPS alone, not to mention the high ultra settings, all that crap, on a Series X, like that's enough to blow their mind. And speaking of mind blown, Damien, by the way, thanks for becoming a channel member. I want to go ahead and finish what you're saying. I want to jump to Fonz on this and kind of get his take on it too.
I want as kind of a joke, I wanted to like say to people, like, if this game ran at 1080p 60 in the open world, like even that alone be like, holy crap, look at this major upgrade and going to next generation. It makes such a difference.
It'll be well above 1080p as we know.
But it will. I'm expecting a dynamic 4K or some type of, interpolate or interlace 4K. Who knows? But they're claiming 4K. They haven't said anything about frame rate, but we know, the new consoles basically have a $200 or $300 CPU in them as far as desktop gaming. So it's going to be really, really cool. And if you're a fan of what Assassin's Creed's been doing the past few years, holy smokes, I can't wait for Valhalla.
Oh, it's going to be fire. Bonzarelli, were you excited when you heard about this? Because I remember you came around hard on that Odyssey, boy.
No. I like the setting much better personally. I like this whole, time period and stuff. I can't wait to play this game. Now, did we get confirmation that it would be 60 frames?
No, not yet.
On the Series X?
Not yet, but it will be.
Yeah, we better get a mode that does that for
If
sure.
it's not,
'cause-
I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'd do, but it wouldn't be because of the hardware. No way.
No,
So,
it couldn't be, right? Because they could do a dynamic 4K, run it at 60 frames, even go down to 1440p. Hell, I don't care. Get me to 60 frames already with these big open world games. That's what I want.
yeah.
But I'm so excited for this game. After playing Odyssey, which is, I gave it a hard time at first before I started that game. You guys know all about this, the whole thing, and I still get shit to this day for it. But I mean, that game became I'd say it's my third favorite game of the generation for sure. It's it's really, really great. So how far they've come with the Assassin's Creed games and the whole RPG elements they've added into it, it's just it's got my interest now with every future Assassin's Creed game after Odyssey. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see what this game is going to look like and stuff on the Series X. I hope we don't get just more cinematic trailers on Thursday. So I'm hoping.
No, they said
gameplay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's definitely going to be gameplay, and we're going to get into a lot
gonna
more.
be fantastic,
We're going to get into
man.
a lot more detail on the May 7th event and more later in the show.
That's gonna be
Dipsy
fun.
Doo, by the way, has a code for the Division 2 that he wants to give away, and he said, "Say when." So Dipsy Doo, if you want to give it away, man, just throw it in. And whoever gets the code for Division 2, go ahead.
Let me ask you something real quick about this. When they show this at the event or whatever, if it is represented in 30 FPS, do I have to worry?
Yeah. I mean, I would. That's the first thing I would wonder is why the fuck. But then again, we all know that Hellblade 2 will have 60 FPS on that game, just like Hellblade 1 has today on the X. But they still showed it at 24 frames per second. So we can't say it's an absolute, but I would say, what the fuck? Why would you not demonstrate that?
And I just want to say real quick, usually every week, every Tuesday, I'm talking to the chat often. So if anybody's saying hello to me or whatever, I'm sorry. I'm not saying hello back because I'm not reading at all until The Last of Us 2 comes out because there's too many leakers out there and I know they're going to do it on the show. So not reading the chat.
Yeah. Rough Toys. He says, Sony being a little quiet got me a little nervous. Well, that's okay. Hey, I wanted to ask Zalker real quick. Everything you know about Valhalla, you did a video about it. Some of the highlights that people might want to know about Valhalla, what do you got to say on that?
The game is going to be massive. That's what I know. I know that they're doing a lot different things that they said that Xbox Series X and the new consoles can do. Like they're doing decapitation, limbs can be chopped off, expansive world. Like there's a lot of stuff that they're bringing into it. It's the same people that made Black Flag and Origins, the same game director. It's going to be super brutal. They're not making the combat like Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
It's going to be dismemberment.
Well, they said it's going to be like the best way the guy described it, he's like, it's going to be crunchy. When you hit someone, you're going to feel it. Like when they hit you,
are their arms going to crunch off their bodies, Alker?
I don't know, man. I hope so. But the gameplay is going to be everything from what Xbox announced. Everything shown on Thursday is going to be played on Xbox Series X, apparently. So
it's going to be crispy smooth.
It's going to be so crispy smooth. Throwback. And this is something that and this is one thing that we brought up, right? We talked about how everybody was like, oh, why would you play that? It's going to be on Xbox, all that dumb stuff. You understand that like Ubisoft's like CEO, the guy that runs that place, has said that the new generation is like very important to them. So one of the biggest third-party publishers is trying to get their games shown on these new consoles because they're going to look freaking insane on them. And that's the whole point. Like, it's not just them. Like, the reason why they're doing this third-party basically show out on Thursday is because a lot of these people, including Assassin's Creed developers, want to show their games. They have no E3, no Gamescom. All this stuff is canceled. Where else are they going to do it? On this stage, on the most powerful console in the world. That's what's going to be happening. That's what's going to go down. I can't wait for Valhalla. I think Assassin's Creed's awesome. I'm playing the Ezio collection right now. I don't know, man. That game looked insane, and I can't wait to see what they show us on Thursday.
I can't wait either. And actually, we do kind of have an idea what's going to be there. Snake Eyes says, cheers dealer in the RDX panel. AC, it's going to be amazing. There's no debate.
One more thing. They said, this is directly from the developer. They said that they want to have so many different types of units that even if you're 20 to 25 hours into the game, you will find new units that have new abilities and new stuff to take you out. So you're I choked on a popcorn. You have new abilities basically, and you'll always be challenged, and you'll see new looking enemies. And I think that's directly because of the new hardware and everything that's coming up.
Yeah. It's gonna be, well, I don't know if it's because of the new hardware, but I think it's because they decided that they've got to go bigger, and they probably had how many people? 900 people working on this or something. So
14 studios. By comparison,
Jesus.
Odyssey had 10 studios.
what? And
That is a
Odyssey,
lot.
Odyssey's huge.
You
yeah.
know how
And Odyssey
you
is
know
one
how
of the biggest games ever we've played. Like, honestly.
You know how people are always saying, like, oh, the original Xbox is going to hold it back or whatever. But can it just do the opposite? Can't you hold some features back from the original Xbox One?
We've seen that already
that's just
in
what's gonna happen.
Shadow of
Exactly.
Mordor, right? Like the Nemesis system was
Exactly.
not in the old version of the consoles, but it was in the Xbox One and PS4.
Exactly. So, I mean, it works both ways. I mean, I'm tired of hearing that nonsense already.
It's certainly possible. We've got almost 1,700 people watching live already, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. Share this out, help us out a little bit. We do appreciate it. Hidden Xperia, tell us your thoughts real quick on AC Valhalla, the trailer that they didn't bother uploading in 4K for some fucking reason, and your thoughts there.
So I've had a bit of a weird history with AC before. I've tried to get into it a few times. I tried with Brotherhood and also Unity, and I could kind of get into it, but not that much. But Valhalla has actually really got my attention. I love like English history stuff, and also Viking stuff is also really cool. And the trailer was like sick. I mean, I know it was a cinematic trailer, but the trailer was really cool.
Yeah.
So like, I'm actually pretty tempted to try it. Honestly, I thought it looked really good.
Honestly, you should be trying Odyssey. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, man. Odyssey is really good. Second best RPG of all time behind Witcher 3, and it's super good. Anybody, Tim? I mean, I don't know if you give a shit about this. I mean, I figured I'd get everyone's take that cared about this, but
yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I played Odyssey and I didn't finish it, but I definitely enjoyed it. I have like 5-6 hours in it. Not a huge Assassin's Creed fan, but overall, I'm very interested in the smart delivery stuff. I know that they're, we kind of know baseline what it is, but I'm hopefully that they can, really go into depth of what they're doing for the new generation of console and how they're going to implement it. I think they're going to show a couple of games with smart delivery. So for me, that's what I'm really looking forward to. The game looks great, and maybe I get back into the Odyssey again, and then I get ready for it. Definitely going to get it. I think it's going to be, 4K. I could probably have it in performance mode. But overall, I'm hopefully we find out what exactly smart delivery can do, other than just up-res and some of the simpler stuff.
That's actually really good, Tim, that you brought that up, because I think that this is bigger than, I think Ubisoft has worked directly with Xbox a lot. And I think they're going to show some stuff that the Series X can do for third-party developers. Instead of just having to show out what the first party can do, they're going to show you what everybody can do, right? Like the one thing we talked about is that like some of the features on Sony might only be used by first party because of, just time. Mm-hmm. But I think Ubisoft is really like going to take their game and show it on Thursday with some of the Series X's features. And they had that big marketing thing brought out today, that article. All the stuff like points to them showcasing what the Series X could do for third-party developers. And I think Ubisoft's one of the main ones. Yeah. So I think it's going to be really cool to see all that stuff. I think there might be a couple little surprises. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass now, but I'm just saying there might be some things that we see that's going to be pretty cool.
So basically we do have Rob Jones, who says, with Red Dead basically hitting Game Pass the same day as the event, do you think they'll demonstrate Red Dead with Series X enhancements? I don't know. I've heard a few things, but none of that would suggest that Red Dead would be there. Doesn't mean it's not there, though. Remember that we had been talking about on this channel how there was a May event for whatever. They were going to show games on Series X, and it turned out that they were going to do some of their own games later on. We had heard that it was in July, and it turns out that's exactly when it is. It's not June. They are doing events for the most part throughout there, and we'll give more details on all that throughout the show, but maybe we'll drop some little sneak peeks later on in the show for you guys. Ricari, by the way, in the Discord said, I need to jump back on another show. Ricari, you're always welcome, man. You can jump in and out of this chat anytime you want. Again, Ricari was a phenomenal guest, a lot of fun. And also, shout out to, again, everyone over 1,700 watching and that supports the show and all that stuff. Thank you guys so much. Series X. Tim, you were talking about smart delivery. they are supporting this game day one with Series X, and that biggest enhancement for the game is going to be the frame rate across the board. I mean, but on top of that, obviously at extremely high resolutions and high graphic settings. I mean, that's got to have you excited as hell.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great that they're kind of pushing that tradition of buying a game once and then being able to push it forward and having to buy that game once and having all the benefits of the new console. I remember just last gen, Xbox was a victim of it, and so was Sony. I mean, The Last of Us came out in 2012, and then they had a remaster 8 months later.
Yeah.
And we had all these other games from Xbox and Sony. They both did it. You had these remasters, and I just think it's a really pro-consumer thing that you could just buy a game once. You don't have to worry about it. I don't know if it's going to be every game, but if you can get this on a majority, or this pushes pressure on the whole industry to do it this way, I think that's a great thing because I don't really think that I'd want to buy a game twice or even put any more money into it.
No, if that happens, if anybody charges for a patch on this, I mean, and it's not in the form of at least a Game of the Year edition or something where they introduce a patch, they should never charge individually for a patch to give you better settings or resolution. That's not acceptable. It doesn't matter what scenario it is. It's bullshit. So if I don't think Microsoft will ever push that. I don't think the developers will really push that either. And if they did, I think there'd be hell to pay. I think it's up to us to make sure that happens too.
I think some developers wanted to, but I think Xbox, paved the way. Then we have CD Projekt Red being like, you should never buy a game twice. And then now Assassin's Creed. Like, these are major third-party developers. And then, a huge developer in Microsoft that are pushing this narrative that you do not need to buy a game twice. You'll buy it in whatever system you play on, it's going to work. And that kind of meshes well with xCloud, all this other stuff where you can play anywhere. So that to me is awesome. If a developer comes on like, well, I feel like it's going to be Activision, dude. Like, they're going to come out and be like, here, buy both of them, fucker. And then they're going to run
somebody,
away.
As somebody who's been there since like day one of, back in the day in the first generation of console gaming, I've seen all the generations go forward, and we know this. We know that they've never done this before. Like, this is the first of its kind where they're actually implementing this, that you can actually go forward with the same damn game. It's amazing, like, that you don't have to buy this. And a lot of people overlook that, but I mean, seriously, looking back at all the generations, it's something that's not been done before.
Hey, let me give a shout out to Richard real quick in the super chat. He says, "You are amazing. I can't see your last name. It's cut off, man." Richard, and maybe one of you guys can see it, but for me, it's cut off for some reason. Do appreciate it, brother. Also, guys, Gears Tactics. Say what?
Richard Monreal.
Oh, okay.
Monreal.
It was kind of too long on my screen. Also, in the background, guys, you're seeing Gears Tactics customization. This game has really, really good customization, and I think they built it all in Unreal Engine 4. They're going to carry this over to Gears 6. I can almost guarantee it. All of it. There's so much customization, armor perks, different gun attachments as you're seeing on screen now, even down to different types of paints and materials and textures. Like, this is a really cool. I was very, very surprised by this. So I guess I can use this opportunity to take 2 minutes and say this game was actually not my type of game, but by the end of it, or at least to the point where I'm at now, I can definitely not only understand why people would enjoy this game, but I actually enjoyed it a bit myself. And we're probably so far, and again, I'm not done with it, mainly because it's on PC, and I just, when I am on, I can't, again, I'm a console guy. But when I just enjoyed playing it, and I wish it was on console right now, because there's footage of me here, see, like this Moltra here. I'm customizing this Moltra right now. It looks badass. Like, there's so much stuff that you can do here. And there's footage of me in here playing with the mouse and keyboard. Well, really, you only need a mouse and the controller. The game does have controller support. And like I said, I've been playing this for 3 weeks. I just wish it was on console now. And I'm guessing that comes down to optimization. It's probably a game we'll hear about a patch for Series X with sooner than later at one of these events. But again, I mean, as of right now, if I have to give it a review impression score, I would say it's probably about an 8 for me. And I'm not even a turn-based strategy fan. And so that's saying something. It's not the most exciting thing to watch, but the story is actually really interesting. Hunting down, stuff that made the Brumax and all the crazy locust creatures that you've seen. Now you kind of get a little backstory on how they actually come into existence right? So, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff there. Level ups and upgrades and customization for every character, not to mention a full AAA quality story with in-game real-time cinematics. And again, I mean, it's definitely the best looking turn-based strategy game I've ever played. And I think right now it's an 81 meta, right? So it's reviewed well as well.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
I thought it was an 82.
I think it went down one.
Yeah,
From the way it looks, I give it a 4 out of 10 though.
It's just
good.
like
I'm not talking about the graphics.
Just
I'm
like you
talking
gave
about
Odyssey
the way
a
it
4
looks,
out
the
of 10, huh?
turn-based stuff.
just like he gave Odyssey a 4 out of 10.
It's weird. Like I would
Pretty
never
much.
get into a turn-based strategy game like this, but there is a feeling of like a satisfactory feeling playing this game that is in spaced out chunks. Like every 2 minutes, there's like you set up your characters, you wait your turn, and then the locusts like kind of come in and get wrecked. And it's like, yes, and it's got like the close-up kills. Dealer's doing the review, but I've been playing it too. Yeah, I mean, for such a slower paced game than most games we're used to, yeah, I agree. It's got that satisfaction.
It managed to make turn.
that you
Dude,
brought
this
that
ain't
up.
nobody else's goddamn review. Fuck, let me get this over with. Shit. I just want to say that for
gotta
being a
give it-
turn-based
for
game,
Dealer, I got to give Dealer a 1 out of 10.
one
and that's my
star
final
out of
score.
5. I just want to say that it managed to take a turn-based game and make it enjoyable for me. And Felony says, show love to people. Yeah, I've already said thanks for everyone joining us and appreciate all the support. But yeah, I mean, not everyone's been here the whole show. Thanks, Felony. Do appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, everyone showing love and support and all that stuff, guys. It all helps. All the super chats, all the highs. Thank you. We are back this week. We got a lot of great topics ahead. A great guest in Hidden Xperia. Have you gotten a chance to play this at all? Gears Tactics, real quick before we move on.
Yeah, actually, I have. I was just gonna say that the first time I got to the customization screen, I was so happy. Like, I love games with really deep character customization and gun customization, and seeing that in Gears is like heaven.
It's
like,
cool,
Oh
ain't
my
it?
god, I was so surprised. I love it.
It's what Gears 5 needed, honestly. If Gears 5
Yeah, I
had
agree.
that and you could find this stuff out and about, I just feel like Gears 5 for that kind of stuff need a little more time. But when it comes down to it, man, it's a lot of fun. And we do got to say a big shout out to Matthew and Super Chats. Thanks for all the hard work, Dealer. No, thank you guys for showing up again. It wouldn't be what it is without you guys. Almost 1,900 watching live, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. Again, we're going to move on. We got plenty more topics and stuff like that, but that is kind of my Gears Tactics mini review. I wanted to have a full-on production-based one. Just couldn't get it done. So that's about all you'll get from me on that. We want to talk real quickly, and we're not going to spoil anything. First and foremost, no spoilers, but we'll mention Last of Us 2 and what's happened. Apparently some stuff has come out about the end of the game, and a lot of footage and gameplay has come out about the end of the game. And they basically said, Neil Druckmann said, hey, nothing compares to actually playing it. So there is a lot of truth to what you're hearing. But when it comes down to it, the game has gone gold. They are printing the masters on discs now, and it is coming out June 19th, I do believe. And they did say that they were actually hacked. And that's how that stuff happened. Now, if that's true or not, I guess we don't know.
Okay.
Don't
Fonz
please
isn't
don't
buying
spoil
it.
shit in the chat.
But yeah, don't spoil
I
it.
don't.
Yeah, that's trash, man.
I don't have a look. I wanted to talk about this last week so bad. Looking into the information that had leaked and everything, it doesn't look like a hack. It really doesn't. I watched a video from a guy who didn't spoil anything, but he showed the information that was leaked and how it was leaked, and it looked like it pointed at a developer. Like it looked like it pointed at somebody who had to have a developer kit and everything for this game, and like it just doesn't make sense that it was just hacked,
Like it was stolen off. Neil Druckmann left his USB stick in a Chuck E. Cheese.
And the thing is, like, Neil's right. You do have to play a game. You have to get everything. There's little nuances to story development and stuff that you can't just get from one single frame of the game or, a scene and just go, oh, this game sucks. I hate that scene. You don't know everything that's going on. So I'm going to give the game the benefit of the doubt because it's one of my favorite games. The Last of Us was one of my favorite games. So I'm going to play this game. But if it is indeed some trash or something, I will be very vocal on that. You guys know I'm very vocal when I don't like something. Shout out to Black Flag and AC Origins, by the way.
Which you loved all the way until the end.
No, yeah. Origins totally just screwed up at the end. But anyway, I just think that this whole Last of Us 2 thing, there's some damage controlling going on by Sony and Naughty Dog big time. It just feels like it. and I just think the whole thing stinks, man. In the end, I hope that they get it right, because if they don't, I'm going to be very pissed off, because this is one of the games I've been looking forward to most this generation. So yeah, Fonz will be pissed.
Odyssey, Lethal said you didn't give Odyssey the benefit of the doubt, though.
Oh, I did. I actually no, not before I played it, but I repented for that. Okay?
A Squad, good friend of the show. We need to have you on again soon, bud. He says, do you think Naughty Dog originally wanted to wait for PS5 to release The Last of Us 2, and with all the leaks, they put it in?
Another thing, man. He's right. That's another thing, because I really thought that, they had released this stuff. They're only releasing this game basically because of these leaks. I mean, it's obvious. Everybody should know this.
Well, I mean, they pushed it back because it's the climate's unpredictable. When we have Bill Stillwell on, I mean, he said it himself.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I'm not saying it was for PS5, but I'm saying that they released this game in June way before they wanted to. I guarantee you, because why would they delay it and then release it just 18 days later? It makes zero sense.
The leaks have some legitimacy to them.
To me, it seemed a bit weird for them to delay it and then very quickly, just after the leaks, announce a release date.
They looked over, saw the leaks, hidden Xperia. They're like, "Ah, shit!" And all right, guys, get back to work. We got to release this thing now. It's getting spoiled. Now. Yeah.
One of their developers sitting there with a latte. Oh, I messed up, guys. We're hacked. Don't say anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, man. We don't want that to happen. I'm still gonna play it and know for myself. I'm not gonna be like some people who talk shit on all these games and don't actually play them. I'll say a certain game ain't for me, but I'm never gonna act like something's trash before I play it, at least, or at least in a serious manner, if you know what I'm saying.
And I really do hope people see that. We are an Xbox-centric podcast, but we're talking about Last of Us, and we're not trashing it. We are all going to play. I haven't played Last of Us, the first one. I'm going to be playing it right when I finish Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I'm going to play Last of Us right after that. And I'm going to play it because I want to get prepared for Last of Us 2. I've seen the leaks. I've heard the leaks, to be honest. And I want to play it either way. The gameplay, you can't deny it. The gameplay looks awesome.
I mean, imagine working on something for 6-7 years, Talker, and boom, it leaks and gets kind of spoiled.
It is discouraging to them. People are trashing on them, but these people made one of my favorite games last generation in Uncharted 2. They made some amazing games. They're great, very talented. Do they have maybe some messed up things going on at the business side? I don't know. Who knows? But either way, we're all going to be playing it. We're all going to enjoy the game, hopefully. And I never want a game to be bad, right? This is going to be a big game, long game. And
I paid $60 for it. I ain't trying to take an L on I ain't trying to take $60. Hey, Snake Eyes, real quick, hidden experience. He wants to know, are the Flood coming back? Tell us.
Man, I hope. I really wish I could answer that question because I have no idea.
They need to, don't they? Well, Halo Wars 2 to me had probably the best story of any Halo game. I don't know if that's blasphemy or what, but
Halo Wars 2?
I really enjoyed Halo Wars 2 story, and I would like Atriox and the Flood to become part of the mainline game, and then set that Cortana crap in the background, and just let the Flood, Atriox, and the Covenant and Chief go at it,
I mean, that's a dream. That's a dream. I mean, where Halo Infinite is more than likely going to be set, the Halo that it's on, is the most Flood-connected Halo ring in the entire Halo universe.
Shit.
So, there's so much history there that they could dive into, and I'm really hoping that they do. It's, the most perfect setup. I'm just begging that they go into it.
Oh, man. So, see, what you just said there, I didn't know that. And I'm sure there were people out there listening that didn't. So, I mean, it could very well be the case, man. Could very well be the case.
I hope.
But when it comes down to it, guys, that's kind of my Gears Tactics thing. And of course, thanks for the question, Snake Eyes. Do appreciate it, buddy. Oh, by the way, RDX podcast was mentioned by IGN in their next gen console watch. They were quoting Chris Grimmel and his quote on the PS5, and I'll shout out to Chris. He's going to come on again in the future. And anyone I've made an associate of the show can just jump in whenever, right? So you, Hidden Xperia, the guys from the Xbox employees, and anytime they want to jump in, anytime you guys want to jump in, you can. But Chris is definitely coming back, and we're looking forward to kind of his thoughts on maybe some stuff coming ahead. But yeah,
enjoy Odyssey, Chris. He was talking about that today on Twitter.
Yeah, Odyssey's great.
On sale.
Chris is awesome.
Odyssey's great. Chris is a good guy, and I knew that the media and the sites would kind of exaggerate what he said. They didn't quote him correctly. They didn't do shit the right way, and we haven't had a show since then. So we wanted to say that Chris is a really good guy. His quotes were exaggerated for the most part, and he was just being honest. He said both consoles will be, you know, a beast, and they are. We've been saying that, but there will be a clear delta between them, as we've been saying for well over a year from what we were hearing. So
another
forward
thing
to
needs to be said is Chris hasn't worked on development for games in a little while, but like there's a double standard that they'll take somebody who's worked on a mobile game or a small indie game and say their word is law when it comes to
But
these.
Chris was also really clear about that this is what he was hearing from developers and multiple developers.
The way that games are developed haven't changed full stock over the past 10 plus years. Like this is like the games have been developed a certain way, and talking about the scalability and dealing with different power deltas, like all of that is still rings totally true. The difference is Chris actually worked on games, and some that worked on a mobile game, you know, and didn't even have a dev kit. Like I saw a lot of misinformation. A lot of people have said in my videos, because I quoted a lot of what he said, they said, oh, he already debunked all this stuff and said he never worked on the, you know, it's like they were mixing up the Crytek guy. It's just a whole big mess, and everyone is just
that's because
fighting over stuff.
The mods on Reddit like to what the fuck is that noise?
Over a mannequin.
I think it's funny that how, you know, you have hand holding and these, you know, these things that prop up, these little things like if it's the RDNA 3 or, you know, a faster, you know, SSD. The bottom line is if you look at the specs and you go up and down the specs, it is clear who is a performance leader, who is going to have the better looking games when it comes to multiplats, and who's going to have more of a potential for their first party to push, you know, games further. I just don't understand the hand holding or the damage control that goes on with all this, because you know, I remember 2013 you had multiple devs talking about 30% difference. You had everyone pushing this teraflop thing that now that people say that doesn't matter. I mean, it was a stark contrast.
And they act like it's the same delta between 2013's 30% and today's 30%, when we have to explain it to them over and over. What's 30% of $10? Okay, now what's 30% of $1,000? The bigger your number, the bigger the difference, right? With that 30%.
Right. It's just time to just say, give Xbox its due. You know what I mean? We don't know the prices on it. But I mean, if you look at both systems, you would probably think that the Xbox would be more because it does more. It's more powerful.
So you think it's going to be $100 more now, or where are you at on that? No,
I don't. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I think that that's part of the reason why Sony's so quiet, because I think they got themselves in a little bit of a pickle here.
Oh shit!
Where they could possibly be the same price, but the bottom line is there's a big delta there. There's a big difference there, and there's a lot of hypocrisy going on. Like if Xbox was using Smart Shift to hit 12 teraflops, it would be the biggest joke in the world. Let's not pretend that wouldn't be pushed by the same people who are now, you know, using 10.28 as a defined number, as the as what
a number that will only go down as CPU demands go up throughout the generation.
100%. You would want, you know. So I just think it just comes to a time that we just really got to move on, give credit. You know, don't bother Chris because he has a logical or you know, his opinion on it. You know, the shit that he had to go through is kind of.
Tim, before you continue, can you maybe talk a little louder? The chat's yelling for you to talk louder.
I'm sorry, I'm on the phone. My internet.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll just make it sure you know. Like,
turned him up a lot, but yeah,
Chris got a lot of shit, and he didn't deserve it. You know, because you know he has a logical explanation, and it's just his feelings. And Chris is not like some crazed fanboy. I talked to Chris a lot. It's just the way he felt and what he heard. So I mean, I don't understand why the guy was being attacked, or these, you know, these outlets taking things that he said and embellishing on it. I think Sony's a big boy. I mean, they can stand up on themselves by themselves. They don't need hand holding.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, we always hear about the sales that they do and how great they are. You know, maybe sometimes we just got to be real about this.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, D?
I want to say I don't want to hear from anybody ever again that power doesn't matter. It absolutely does matter. Okay, people are losing their minds here. Like
it's like every day, D. There's a fucking just let it go. Fuck. Like it's not that hard. Like we've been saying this forever. It's not our fault you ain't been paying attention, right? It is what it is. So I mean, you said it was RDNA 1. It's like I was reading off a fucking website. saying that that's what they were saying. Did I say definitively that was my opinion? No, my opinion is now what it was then. They are both hybrid. That's just what I think. It is what it is. I ain't running for nothing.
It's a little, honestly, it's freaking like sad. Like it's like desperation or something. Like I don't know. Like all of a sudden now we're time traveling for RDNA 3. We're doing like a bunch of stuff. Like I don't get it, man. Like just get over it, people. Like we're
all this shit makes me want to watch RoboCop or some shit.
Like I don't know.
But
Dude,
they were
I
okay
want
with
to
us
watch
being-
Jean-Claude Van Damme freaking Time Cop. Like I don't know what's happening. Like
Hey,
I'll
they
say
don't.
this: Naughty Dog is my favorite developers, honestly. And what they were able to do with the power of the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro, I can't wait to see what they could do with 10 teraflops of performance. I don't understand why gamers. Yes, the system multiplats will look. They won't look as good on the PlayStation 5. Most of them won't because there's a power delta. The first party games
will look
are gonna
amazing.
look fantastic.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why gamers are up in hands. It's just
It's
wait for the
because
game.
power matters. That's Colt's line.
I like that.
That's true, though.
Colt's so good at
Power
popping
doesn't
in
matter
because
anymore.
power matters.
Power.
When you-
It doesn't matter anymore. It's changed. The narrative changes every week.
All
so-
Might in the chat said, if power doesn't matter, go play on the OG Xbox One and the PS4 base model.
I like turtles.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Guillermo, by the way,
Wait a minute.
the legend Cavillo says shout out to Dealer and of course everyone on the panel. I'm late as fuck. All right, thank you so much, Guillermo. Do appreciate it, buddy. Also, when it comes to, I guess we could get Hidden Experience take on this because again, I mean, get your perspective on the whole Series X and PS5 thing. We know there's a pretty damn good delta on it. We had two developers on last show we had, and they were pretty much, it was a really interesting show. Recommend to listen if anybody listening hasn't. Also, shout out to over 2,000 people joining us live, guys. Thank you so much for what you do. But Xperia, your take on PS5 and Series X. You know Series X is a monster, and we know they're both amazing. But what are your thoughts on that?
The way I see it, right, is both consoles are powerful. Like maybe the Series X is going to be a bit more powerful, but both consoles are powerful, like in their own right. They're both going to have great exclusives. Third-party games, you're going to play well on both of them. The way that I see it, right, I've chilled out a lot with this in the past few years. Just enjoy what you want to enjoy. Like if you want to play on a PlayStation, play on the PlayStation. If you want to play on an Xbox, play on an Xbox.
Exactly.
Just like what I don't get is when people go so aggressive with console war stuff. Like it's perfectly fine to favor one side over the other. Like that's perfectly fine. You can like one and like not like the other. But to like get so aggressive about it and to like start having like full on arguments about somebody having a different
Like
opinion
someone's
on the
talking shit on
console.
your grandma or something, you know?
Yeah, right, exactly, dude. People take it so far. Like it just enjoy what you're gonna enjoy. Play on the console that you want to play on. I mean, hell, if you can afford both and you want to get both, then by all means get both. Enjoy the benefits of both. I really wish the whole console war stuff could just stay in the past because it's so draining.
It
dude.
gets
It's
so
Yeah, that
ridiculous,
ain't
man.
happening.
It gets so ridiculous.
facts.
And Eric, by the way, Eric says, power doesn't fucking matter. Play Crackhead 3. Yeah. Art design, art direction. We get it.
I'll put 100 hours in that.
Yeah, Colt put 100 hours and thousands of billions of hours exploding buildings with his friends. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Hidden Experience.
there.
It's definitely the best point of the whole conversation is calm the fuck down and just enjoy what you like. Like, just because we tell you over and over what's going to happen and it actually does fucking happen and you don't like it, or you're listening to someone that says it's a 7 FPS difference, not looking at the deltas we have today in the Pro and X. Like, you know what I'm saying? It all comes down to how informed you are. And you just got to calm down. It's gaming at the end of the day. So it gets old. Also, we're supposed to have BitCloud gaming on here soon. I remember that. I want to say that out loud so I can remember. BitCloud's a good guy, and he's recently seen the light when it comes to certain scenarios. And I want to give him a shout out because he's a nice guy, and people think that, people take this shit so seriously. But when it comes down to it, we're buddies, and hashtag dismount squad. Yeah. Okay, Xbox Game Pass. Hey, Tim Dog, 10 million. All right, we were talking about this quite a while ago, but they finally announced these damn Game Pass numbers we were teasing months ago. We know they've been over 10 million for quite a while, but they didn't announce it when we thought they might. What are your thoughts on 10 million plus Game Pass users hit for the earnings report or whatever?
Yeah, I think that was very good that came out. I think the numbers a little bit of a nice amount over 10.
Louder.
I think I think that when I'm talking right into the mic, so
Okay, bud.
I'll turn you up.
shut up, Colt. And when we talked about this 3 months ago, I think it was pretty sure that it was over 10. There were some reasons why they didn't want to talk about it, but this financial report, when they brought it out, I thought that them talking about that was huge. But the 26 million active users from February of 2019 to then, to almost nearly 90 million active users, was definitely the biggest eye opener of that. That's
crazy.
You're talking about huge growth, and that's because of Game Pass. I think that's because of PC Game Pass, and just people
Of course.
And this thing was over 10 million Game Pass users well before the whole outbreak and all that stuff.
It's probably I would say it's a pretty nice amount over. And like I said, I think that it was scheduled, or they were thinking about talking about it. But one of the reasons why they don't want to talk about it is because obviously when you say that you're this big, third-party games probably come a little more expensive. It makes your job harder to say, hey, call up a third party and say, hey, can you put your game on? And they say, oh, well, you got, so-and-so many subscriptions. You're going to have to give me so-and-so much more money. So I think that was part of it. But like I said, the Game Pass numbers is huge. You're getting a ton of money coming for revenue for games. People say $1. A lot of those $1 deals now are gone. So
they've been gone.
Yeah, they've been gone.
That
was over a year ago.
Yeah, there's no way 8 million people signed up for Game Pass for $1 last month.
I remember I was late to the party getting that whole deal with the Ultimate and everything, and I only got till this June, and it's up next month.
Right.
Yeah, my $1 was up June last year, so that's when I used my $1.
Let Tim finish what he's saying. What were you going to say, buddy?
No, just overall though, I think the biggest takeaway of this whole thing is that Xbox, with the 26 plus million users, they're in position right now to really, to get where they want to get. They're going to probably be the active users in a couple of years if they keep growing at that rate. That 26 million even as crazy as the Game Pass numbers are, it's pretty crazy when you consider the competitive service is 1 million.
Yeah.
But the 26 million is really a big thing. And that's why you have like Bloomberg today and CNBC, mainstream media, they all noticed that too. It's huge news.
Well, the big thing
when we first started talking about this 3 months ago or whatever it was,
that's fine.
What it was is, I remember talking about this and saying that it was over 10 million. I remember I was the one who was saying, no, it's over 10 million. I guarantee it. And you got hit up, Tim, by somebody. I don't know who, and I know you ain't going to say who, but you were like, I think Rada Gamer is right, And I'm just saying it was obvious to me because of their business model. And that's why I say it's not crazy. How they've structured Game Pass and how they deal in Game Pass and how they pass the savings on to us, the consumers, the gamers. It's perfect. It's a great way. I think they've got the best gaming subscription service there is, because they've not only got their first party in there day and date, but they've also got a lot of new third party as well. And honestly, it keeps growing there. A lot of people naysay Game Pass still. They're idiots, man. They're complete idiots. This is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And as I said on Twitter, hashtag 10 million strong. It's only going to get bigger, only going to get stronger.
But I heard they couldn't support AAA budgets now because it's only $10 a month. Meanwhile, I forgot that 10 million times $10 times 10 million is a lot more than
dealer. All those idiots out there think that they don't even know how Game Pass works. They honestly think that they're waiting for our dollar. They're sitting there. The developers are just sitting there going, "I can't."
I don't know about you, but I had to buy the game and get it on Game Pass so they could get their dollar and also get paid.
And that's the thing, stop pushing the fact that, gamers, if you really love this game in Game Pass, you should show some real support by buying that game. No, your support is shown by playing that game within Game Pass. You're paying for a service already. You are not obligated.
So what
to
you're
buy
saying
a
is, hey,
game. If you
unsubscribe
want
from Netflix, unsubscribe from Hulu, Disney Plus, and
exactly. If you want,
No,
dude, if
go
you
to
want to own
Studio.
that game, if you want to own that game, that's fine. You can go out and buy that game as well. But if it's in Game Pass and it's there for you to play under your subscription service that you pay for, by all means, use it to your advantage. We are consumers at the end of the day. Stop acting like idiots.
Fonz is hopped
Stop
up.
it.
It's like D-Batch listening to him get excited for Blowhole the Dolphin right now. Woo!
10 million strong, baby. 10 million strong. Getting stronger.
He is
Yeah.
right. I remember when he said the 10 million, and I was like, we were all like, nah. And then I do remember that. But
Well, back then, that was a long time ago, though, wasn't it?
It was
I
like
know,
January.
but it's just crazy that how they're at that number.
Yeah.
Right now, really. Just think
officially,
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
When they announced they're going to add xCloud to it, and when that gets added, holy shit, the numbers.
So
gonna
hang
go
on,
through
hang
the
on.
roof.
Is that another thing that we've just talked about months and months and months and months before they actually officially confirmed it? The fact they're just going to combine it with Game Pass and xCloud? Wow!
I believe so, sir. I do believe so.
Oh man, well you know what, it's quite amazing. Hey, Cold Eastwood, real quick, I want to get your take on this because Stodgy Caesar in the super chat wants to know what your thoughts are on creators getting slapped in the face, getting that copyright slap when they talk about what's going on with Last of Us here. How would that make you feel if that happened to you as a fan, maybe even?
Oh, as a content creator, it really suck if you put hours into a video and then get copyright struck because, they're supporting they're trying to protect their intellectual property. If you're leaking stuff, there's actually a mess right now. Yesterday, Neil Druckmann did an apology control video. I don't know what the word would be.
It wasn't really like an apology. It was announcing the gold and he's saying, hey, no matter what you've heard, basically nothing compares to playing it. And how many dislikes did that have? What was that ratio?
He had almost 20,000 likes, but the dislike was over 54,000 dislikes.
Ooh.
Really?
So yeah.
Jesus.
And some YouTubers get that. It sucks.
People
but
is pissed.
anyway, it's rough, and that's they disabled comments on that. He makes a really great point that any game you could just dismiss by someone say, well, this is the plot, so who cares? But anything like a movie and a game is a journey that you enjoy, and gameplay is great. But what a mess this whole thing's been.
Hey,
and people are like, Colt, why don't you do a video on this? Why aren't you talking about this? Like, well, I'm not really in the realm where I like to talk about dramatic, horrible, unfun things. Like I don't enjoy that stuff at all. And it's just not it's not what I do.
Yeah, if you're gonna dedicate hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to one video, it's not gonna be in something like that. Sean Murray, by the way, thank you so much. His first super chat, Game Pass Ultimate. Thank you so much, sir. Do appreciate it, buddy. Really appreciate it. I just wanted to throw that out there real quick because Stodgy. Look at these cutscenes, by the way, in this gameplay. I know it's only at 1080. It's on my end. It's 4K, very high bitrate, but you can still see even at 1080p, even though it's a live stream of 10,000 kilobytes per second, like still looks pretty damn decent. Like the production value in these cutscenes, all real time, looks damn good, man. Like that's why I say it's probably the best looking turn-based strategy game I've ever seen, and it's pretty well done. Certain aspects of the story.
I love the lore about it. The lore, man.
The lore.
Yeah, the lore's really cool.
Yeah, it is. Also, we got All Might says, I've been laughing all this video all day. Dislike ratio 3-1. He's talking about the Druckmann video. Yeah, it was pretty fucked up, man. I think he messaged me on Twitter about that, actually. Shout out to Immortal Jedi, Snake Eyes, and everybody in the chat, guys. I wish I could get to everybody. And also, about 2,100 watch this live. 2,100 watch this live, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't shared this out with somebody. We do appreciate it for everything you guys. All right, that's Tim Dog's yell for the day. And of course, we're gonna go ahead and move on.
But hold on, I want to talk about the
Go
Game
ahead.
Pass stuff.
Go ahead.
So hold on. So the Tim, you were talking about like the Xbox Live users coming up like to 90 million active, whatever it was. The reason, like a lot of that, why that's happening is like they're really like little bighorning freaking Steam. When you buy a game on Steam, you can log into Xbox Live on the game and just get your achievements that way. Like it's an extremely intelligent way. Like that's how I got my achievements on Gears Tactics. I played it all through Steam and I still got my achievements. And because I logged in, they ask you, do you want to log into Xbox Live? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. So you log
Same
in.
for
So
MCC as well.
That's why I chose the Windows version of the game for the review. And
That's very interesting.
Can I say
Very
something real
very
quick on that? I
So-
tried both the win. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
God damn it, D. No, I'm
Tim,
joking.
we'll let Tim finish. We'll go to D. What were you saying, Tim? Achievements?
No, but I think that's a very good point. That makes it kind of believable because I mean when you look at, I remember following that and they were like 57 million. Then the year after that was like 59 to 63. When you see a jump like that, you're like, what's going on? So that definitely is a very good point, and probably that's probably counted. Good point, Zorker.
Yeah. Axel, real quick. Axel Bella says, "Love the show, guys. Always." And D, do you know the LG? Oh God, D, keep this shit short. TV stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He says, "Do you know that LG said that the 2020 OLEDs won't support the full 48 gigabyte per second of 2.1?"
Yes, I do know that. What? Oh, my son just came in. I'm sorry. What?
I know all about it as well.
Kicks the door in. Yeah.
What actually happened is that they revealed that it doesn't have the full bandwidth. They said that it's due to it just having 10 bits. So it's going to do 10-bit 4/4 chroma subsampling. And last year's model actually did the full, bandwidth.
for 12-bit. Yeah.
Well, why do they do that?
I don't.
Because
to
they're
be really
saying that
honest with
none of the tech supports it anyway right now.
which is true. Because so technically,
So you're saying the C9 is better than the 2020 models, or what? What's going on?
The HDMI port.
HDMI 2.1 support, yes.
Oh.
Basically, if you got a 12-bit image, like I guess from PC, right? Set with dither. So it's a 10-bit panel, but it has dithering, so it would give you, the dithered color. So I guess it would add a little bit, but consoles aren't going to be using 12 bits, so it really doesn't apply to console gamers. It's more to PC users, and I think it's really a moot point.
It's not a big deal. It's a mood issue.
And C9 is better than CX. You just heard it. You heard it here. Yeah. C9 crew. I've got a C9, B7 65, and a C9 65. Fonz got a C9 65. What'd you do? Go back to
I got a C10. I got a C10 65.
I know why.
Oh, you got a C10 65. Well, my TV's better.
The C9 is actually running RDNA 3.
Yep. LG didn't have RDNA 3, guys. So.
Oh, that's what it is. It's RDNA, guys.
Yeah, just couldn't do it. So again,
yeah. Apparently, just to let you guys know, because I've been reading up on a lot of TVs lately, all the TVs that have HDMI 2.1, aside from the C9, they're all stopping at that 40 gigabyte speed for HDMI 2.1. All of them.
Yeah.
Because the tech isn't there. No tech uses it.
C9 Master Race.
Downgraded the B9 or C9.
All the ports on the new CX supported either, which is at least let all the ports support the new bandwidth that they're using. But no, it's
welcome
only,
to the TV hour, people. We are here to talk about.
No, the C10 does use all four.
Oh, but I don't think all four. No, I think it was.
Yeah, it is. That's the B10.
I think I'm bored. Let's go ahead and move on, guys. I want to talk about just a little bit more. We'll cap off on the 10 million. I think they've hit the record numbers: 90 million concurrent active users on Xbox Live. They're doing that through multiple platforms, and of course, it's going to get even bigger when they launch xCloud officially. You could have, hundreds of millions of active users on Xbox Live, right? You got to be signed in to use xCloud. That goes across all the mobile devices across the planet. This is their goal. They're the only ones that are really positioned to leverage this stuff globally. And Xperia, are you a big fan of Game Pass? Do you use it? And 10 million already after a couple years. It's kind of the big thing when it comes to these gaming services. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, 10 million is like insane. I was a bit like skeptical at first with the Game Pass. I thought it was going to be one of those things where it wasn't going to be like as good as people thought it would be. Ended up being the complete polar opposite, and clearly that's shown with how successful it is. I use it. I do have one worry about it though. I have this worry that a lot of people have about it leading to like an increase in microtransactions and stuff in games. Because we've seen with a lot of games that have launched on Game Pass, like Gears 5, for example, being like the premier example of this, that because they've launched on Game Pass, like I don't know the financing background of how devs make the money back with Game Pass, but a lot of the first party games or like the big games that have launched with it have launched with really, really predatory microtransactions. And that's one of the worries that I've had with it.
I don't know, man. Like, Sea of Thieves didn't launch with them. Horizon 4 didn't really launch with them. I mean, Gears 5 had them, but Gears 4 had them. Halo 5 had them before Game Pass.
I can answer that with official information.
Oh, God.
Matt Booty said that because of Game Pass, that they do not. He said we no longer have to ask the developers and the publishers, "What is your monetization plan with your game?" Because with Game Pass, they've got that covered. And as far as how are the developers going to make their money back, they get paid up front. They strike a deal with
like in
Xbox.
advance,
Now, the first party studios, they are basically having faith that the platform with Game Pass and the console platform and PC platform will make up the difference, that they will continue to bring in people because Game Pass in itself will continue to bring more people to the game, and more subscriptions means that they're going to make more money. I don't know how those deals work behind the scenes, but as far as the third party people that come in, they say to them, basically, hey, we'll offer you this much money to be in Game Pass. And then internally, a studio will think, well, we were thinking we would sell 1 million units on Xbox One. So they do the math and they go, man, that sounds good. And that's why you see big games going into Game Pass. So that's kind of like, as far as microtransactions, Gears Tactics has 0, and it's a day and date game. And I'm hoping that the industry will start to see that microtransactions need to be dialed way back and not be invasive and not be egregious and interruptive with the games that we play and make them.
Well, let's put out there how much they're actually bringing in with Game Pass. Like overall, like at the end of the day, they bring in $100 million a month just with Game Pass, right? And think about that's over $1 billion a year. And think about how much they spend producing games every year. Even the biggest production budgets for like Halo and all the biggest games, they don't spend anywhere near that. It doesn't seem like a year. So this is, if anything, this gives developers, they're making a lot of money on this already. They're already profitable. That's confirmed. And it's such a short time where Netflix was in such a horrible position for much longer because of the era that it entered in. Game Pass is already profitable. They're making well over $1 billion a year, not to mention the trickle-down effects, which people don't consider. Mass marketing through your friends list. All the extra DLC you sell, the copies of the games you get, even if you're selling them at a discount, even the microtransactions themselves. Billions are generated, over the course of probably a year and a half, 2 years, I would say, $1 billion in the first year alone off of the $10. And again, there's variables there. You get what I'm saying? Like they have a lot of leeway to eat into, maybe take more risks with other games, or not really force microtransactions as much. I don't think they really force microtransactions now. I think developers know that they probably expected to do X, Y, and Z, and with this overhead here, they don't have to worry about it as much. But I just don't see it as being a negative, man. Gears 5, to me, the biggest story of any Gears. I mean, it had issues, but I mean, it was the biggest game we'd gotten in a long time, and it was really built because they knew Game Pass was going to be a thing, and I just don't see the negative there. But the microtransactions, I would agree. As we've seen in other games, the pricing could have been much better. I don't really know what they were thinking there, but I don't think it's related to Game Pass. I really don't. But I get what you're saying, though. It could be a fear.
I just worry about that overall because, I mean, obviously microtransactions are still a pretty big problem right now. I mean, they have been dialed back a lot recently. Like even Activision have dialed them back, which is like crazy that they've done that. But I don't know. I just worry about that a lot because it's affected Halo quite a lot. And when it affects Halo, then I start to get worried, like overall, like oh shit.
Talk to us about what it's done. Talk to us about what microtransactions has done negatively for Halo. From Halo 5 and what you see in the future.
So, in regards to Halo 5, one of the core aspects of Halo since Halo 3 has been armor customization. It's been one of the most important ways that people express their like interest in the game, especially online. So, like Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo 4, all had very different unlock systems. They were all very unique and they were all very good. And then Halo 5 came in and essentially just took all that and threw it out the window and was like, okay, we're going to monetize the entire thing. Just monetize the entire thing nonstop. Like, people will say, like, yeah, you can buy rec packs by using rec points. And like, yeah, but at the same time, there's nothing stopping somebody from just spending like £200 or like $400 or whatever and just buying all the armor flat out and like not having to grind for it.
Yeah.
Which I hate. There's also the fact that, for example, in Halo 3 and also Halo 4, there were specific armors that you had to like complete certain challenges or get a certain achievements to unlock that required like a specific skill or a specific grind or for you to like complete like a specific feat. And again, that just isn't possible with like the Halo 5 rec system. You just buy the armor straight up. The randomness to the armor as well takes away all the value of it. Like the fact that I could buy a gold rec pack and just get like one helmet instantly, and then someone else could buy like 10 gold rep packs and not get that helmet. It takes away the value from that piece of armor.
The randomness of not knowing what you're paying for.
Exactly, yeah. Like, for example, in Reach, like I wanted the Gungnir helmet for ages. So you know what? I grinded for it. I didn't spend any credits. I waited for ages and I bought it. If that was in Halo 5, I would have grinded for ages and then bought it, whereas somebody else would have bought one pack and just luckily got it. Like there's no value anymore or like no value or prestige to armor anymore.
So seeing kind of some of their current trends, like with Tactics and some of their other games like State of Decay and fucking what are some of the other ones? Anyway, basically, long story short, it seems like microtransactions, they're starting to brag about how they don't have them in some games, right? Yeah. And they're using that as positive marketing, right? Hey, that thing we fucked up before, it's not fucked up anymore. Do you think, given Halo 5 was 5 years ago now, do you think maybe they're coming forward with that, or do you think that microtransactions are going to be a big factor in Halo Infinite?
I mean, it's hard to tell. I feel like they'll be there. Chris Lee already confirmed on Twitter that there'll be no real money loot boxes, which basically means there won't be any rec packs, which is a good start. But at the same time, like we're not out of the woods yet. There could very much still be like, I don't know, the Modern Warfare approach, for example, where you like a billion packs of like skins that you have to buy. And I mean, you can get some in the game by playing, but there's a lot of them, like all the good ones you have to pay real life money for. I can't see a world where the game doesn't have microtransactions. I'd like to think that would happen, but I just don't see it happening.
Neon Shinobi says microtransactions don't belong in Halo. Get them out. Don't belong there. Yeah,
they don't belong anywhere.
They don't belong anywhere unless the game is free. I would say, hey, then it's acceptable.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to make your game free, you've got to make money somehow. That's the way I see it. Like, you've got to make your money somehow. When you're charging $60 for a game, and then $8 for like a limited edition, and then like $120 or whatever for a collector's edition. No, I'm sorry. No, back off.
Back off. He says. Hey, KY Bob. He says huge shout out to the panel, the group of guys on the panel, and to the ones behind the curtain. A great group of boss moderators as well. That's Lethal. That's Obi. That's people like Wilmy, and other moderators. All the big special guests that we've had: Mike Ibarra, Bill Stillwell, Ricari, all those guys are moderators too on the channel, so you'll see them popping from time to time. Shout out to G-Man, All Might, all the guys in the chat, Ashtray I've seen in there, and so many more guys. Thank you so much for what you guys do. We are over 2,200 watching live, or we were just over 2,200 watching live. Hit that like button, share it out if you haven't. We do appreciate it. We've got the best topics to come, in my opinion, and we need to get to those. So Game Pass, 10 million. It is what it is. It's great. Halo Infinite. I'll ask you real quick, Xperia. When it comes to Halo Infinite, I know you're kind of you're in the loop on a lot of every single thing, like you just mentioned with the microtransactions, what the employees are saying officially. We've heard a lot behind the scenes. I know you had kind of referenced the show a few videos ago or several videos ago about some of the stuff that we were saying and that you were hearing. And I mean, when it comes down to it, anything in Halo Infinite, I mean, some of the most likely rumors or some of the most likely things that you think will happen or are hearing from maybe a credible source, from your experience, anything you'd like to kind of tell what will probably be 40, 50, 60,000 people that end up watching the show about Infinite and what you expect to kind of hear and see here soon or whatever?
I don't know, man. Like, I'm cautiously optimistic. Like, what worries me most about Infinite right now is the fact that we're not going to see the game into July, and they promised the flighting system. And if the flighting system ends up starting like as soon as they announced like the gameplay and stuff in July.
So explain what that is to people that don't know.
Okay, so the flighting system is basically like this new way of testing, of like beta testing that 343 have got. They've been using it with the Master Chief Collection on PC. So basically what it is a series of like mini betas kind of. So they release.
You don't think they'll start beta testing the game soon enough, basically?
Pretty much, yeah. I worry that their promise that after MCC's colossal failure in 2014 that they'd have a beta long enough before launch to get enough feedback. I worry that won't be the case because, I mean, by now for Halo 5, we were like like 4 months out from a beta. We had a beta in like December and January of the year before the game launched. And as much as I'm not a fan of Halo 5, they got a lot of very valuable feedback from that beta, and it was a very, very good thing. We are now like at an absolute maximum 7 months away from Halo Infinite, like absolute maximum. That's if it launches in December, which I highly doubt. And we don't even have like a tease for when we might get a teaser about the beta or anything, let alone like an actual date as to when it's going to start. And I worry that it's not going to start soon enough, and they're not going to be able to gather enough feedback. And I don't know. You can see where I'm going with that. I'm cautiously optimistic.
You're kind of concerned because traditionally you would have had a beta in your hands already, and right now you've heard nothing about a beta. You've barely seen gameplay, if any, really. And
we've seen nothing.
It's reasonable. It's reasonable. I definitely we have like we get some employees to watch the show and stuff. I mean, hopefully we'll get information soon, or maybe they'll say something. Reach out to you or something. I don't know. It's a good point.
Can I ask a question to Hidden?
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question to Hidden? I'm sorry, Mike. Hidden. I've heard various numbers of how many people are actually working on this game. Do you have an idea of how many people are actually working on this game as far as developmental studios or subcontracting? I've heard the number as high as 343, supposedly like 500. But with contractors, there's actually like 700 people working on the game. Have you heard anything about that, or anything you can add with that?
I honestly don't know. I know that I believe they announced a few years ago that the PC port is being worked on by, what are they called? I think they work on the Gears 5 PC port. They're called Sky Labs or something.
Right.
They're working with them on the PC port, I think. But other than that, I actually don't know how big 343 are. I know they're quite big, but I don't know any specific number. So I actually don't, unfortunately, have anything to add to that. I wish I could, but
no, it's fine. And have you heard anything about the transition? Now, I had heard in 2018 that there was a change, or I talked about it with Alana Pierce, so we talked about it here, that there was the kind of discussion of where they wanted to take Chief, and they got rid of the creative director. I think his name was Longo, and they went with Chris. Have you heard anything about the developmental troubles that were kind of out there, or anything of that nature?
I haven't heard anything about it, but when I heard about all these leaks coming out about, like, obviously the creative director leaving, and then the recent leak that there was like a sort of reboot of the game in 2018, the 5-year dev cycle started to make sense. Because obviously Halo 5 was not particularly well received. It was like the most divisive Halo game. And it did make sense to me that after that, they'd want to try and course correct. And especially when we ended up seeing the game was a very clear course correction. I mean, the art style was pretty much back to classic. There was a massive emphasis on legacy, which was not the case at all with Halo 5 or really Halo 4 either. They, like, 343 really wanted to take the game in their own direction, and now they're sort of scaling that back and taking it in their own direction, but sort of like in a Halo direction
way.
Yeah, pretty much. So I haven't heard anything, but when all those things came out recently about it rebooting, I wasn't surprised, honestly. Like, that kind of makes sense. The 5-year dev cycle has been a bit of a worry for me for a while. Like, Halo has very traditionally been on a 3-year dev cycle. Like, every major game, including Halo 4, which started development in 2009, contrary to popular belief that it started in 2010. It actually started in 2009. So even like Halo 4 that released 2 years after Reach was still on a 3-year dev cycle. So like as soon as a game is on a 5-year dev cycle, you start to ask yourself questions like, okay, what's going on here? Like something has clearly either gone wrong or been changed.
But it's a new engine as well, though, too. I'll kind of throw that in there. They had to develop. That's one reason that the next Skyrim is going to be a little ways out, because they said they're not going to go forward until they have a new engine. They can do what they want to do and realize their visions for the game. And I know that Slipspace is one of the most advanced engines in the history of the world, and I can't wait to see what it does. But they had to build that, and they had to hire people to do that. And it's like building a team for a game to build an engine that you can build games on, It takes time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that is definitely going to be part of the 5-year dev cycle. But still breaking
it's a lengthy dev cycle
is weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're telling me.
It makes me more excited in a way, though. It's kind of like a Last of Us effect, where it's been so long that that it does make you more excited. I mean, Colt, I mean, you've been MIA licking toenails or something. I don't know what you're doing in the background, but
I'm letting Hidden Xperia talk about Halo.
well, you know, maybe what Colt Eastwood's take on Halo Infinite, maybe what your concerns are, or really what you're kind of looking forward to, if anything, really. I mean, what do you think about the beta? I mean, I thought that was a good point. Usually you would have on your hands right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the beta would start after E3, but my big stance on this game, and I said this to you the other day, is that I want 343. I want like Matt Booty and the other leadership to look at what 343 is doing with Halo Infinite and say, love it, looks great, not good enough, keep working. That's what I want to be happening behind the scenes, because I don't want 343 to look at this and say, man, this is better than 5, because that's not good enough for a massive studio with one of the biggest IPs in gaming of like the past, $1
billion franchise.
years. Yeah, it's huge. And I really want 343 to say, look, we have to recapture the wonder and the allure of Combat Evolved, and that they have to kind of reset what they're doing and make this game big. And I really hope that's what 343 is doing. And I didn't expect to see anything about a multiplayer beta until the gameplay was shown at E3 time. So I still think we're not too late, but Hidden Xperia would know better than I.
I just want the story to be good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in a bit of a mess after Halo 5, but I mean, anything can happen. That's the way I see it. Halo 5 narratively was a colossal mess. But at the same time, the ending for the game did set up some like potentially cool storylines that could come out of it. So, it's sort of like a making the best out of a bad situation type thing. I hope they can pull it off. I really hope they can, because Halo 4's ending to me now is like not completely ruined, but it's damaged heavily by Halo 5, and I'm really hoping they can course correct and like nail a sick story. But yeah, one thing I wanted to say that Cole just brought up is that the idea that like, oh yeah, we're making a game that's better than Halo 5 isn't enough, and like that is, I could not have said that better myself. Like you can't just settle for like, oh, it's better than the last one. Like no, Halo's got like one of the best legacies ever. Like the original Halo trilogy are 3 of the best games ever made. Like I don't care whether you like Halo or not. I think it's objective that they are like 3 of the most revolutionary video game ever created. You can't go from that to, oh yeah, well this is a bit better than the last one. Like no, you've got to. There's got to be something revolutionary in there. You've got to really come out swinging with it. It's got to be a huge game, and I really hope that it is. I need to see something to just.
You want it to be one hell of a boom to the next generation. You want it to be,
guys.
Yeah.
I just got to butt in real quick and let you guys know I have to leave. I have to go to work, but it was fun, guys. So. Anyways, I'm gonna bounce out of here.
Thanks for joining us, Fonz.
You were awesome, man.
And thanks for coming on. And
definitely, man. Definitely every week, man. Every week. And I need to catch you guys online. By the way, every time I go online in the day or whatever, I miss you guys. Like you guys aren't there, so it's like, okay, I must have missed you. All right,
that was a good show, buddy. Thanks for coming on, Adam. Adam O'Patentry. He says what the Xbox and Game Pass numbers have shown me is that Microsoft's numbers are on par with Sony numbers. I'm not sure exactly what numbers he's talking about there, but he says, however, the more studios and deals that Xbox has, basically saying they've got the studios, they got the deals, they got the numbers, everything's kind of coming together. And I definitely agree with that. Things are coming together. Though the numbers recently in terms of active users and stuff, it is inflated because of the situation that's happening. Others wants to know, Xperia, what does he think of Lisa Zane?
Oh, Elsa Zane. Elsa Zane. God, that's a name I've not heard for a while. So for those who don't know who she is, she's a Spartan 4 who basically failed her augmentations and turned into a rebel, into an insurrectionist. She was in Hunt the Truth a little bit, I believe, at the end, and she was in Escalation as well. She's an interesting character. I don't think we're going to see much from her in Infinite, quite honestly, because like that's a part of like Halo's universe that I think is very narratively linked in with Halo 5. I feel like it's going to stay that way for a while. Because like a lot of the post Halo 5 media that we've had, like books and comics and stuff, aside from like one book, has been pretty disconnected from Halo 5. It's almost like they want to sort of separate themselves from that story and be like, okay, just forget that happened. So I don't know.
Basically, you don't think she'll
we'll
pop up again anytime soon.
I'm not putting money on it. I mean, I'm more than open to being surprised, but I don't see it happening, especially in Infinite. I can't see her. I mean, again, I want to. If you want to surprise me, go ahead. But I don't see her fitting into Infinite in any way. I mean, if she's got some way to defeat Cortana, then feel free. But other than that,
yeah,
you never know. Though
I guess time will tell. Mr. Leaks, nothing on an Activision partnership that I've heard about. Assassin Lupa, shout out to her. She says have seen some new artwork on Twitter. Have any of the panel heard anything new about Playground's Fable? Besides that it will be at one of the events in some way, no. And we're thinking definitely the July one, the first party one. That's pretty much all that we know of that I'm aware of. Anyone else?
I heard that you guys are going to be happy with the graphics.
Yeah.
I think that people say it's going to be like a cel-shaded type game are in for a surprise. I think it's if you look at the game that everyone talks about, Witcher 3, I think that if you look at the history of even when they first said that what they wanted to do, they wanted to make a open world RPG in the likes of Witcher 3. I think that's going to also transcend with the graphics, and I think people are going to be very happy. I've heard good things about that, but obviously it's it's hearsay and stuff like that. Until we know, we know. Yeah, I don't think that we're going to be talking about cartoon games.
Well, let's talk about, since we're kind of leading into that, the two events for Microsoft. And they're going to have basically digital events for pretty much every month leading up to Series X's release. But these are the two main ones, and the ones that we've been talking about. May 7th is the more third-party showcase. They will have Assassin's Creed Valhalla there. We're hearing there's going to be a lot of like kind of AA games there as well, though. So don't think you're going to get your fucking mind blown in one showcase. Just know that it is a collection of third-party stuff and their partners and kind of the people that already have stuff up and running on the system. And that is pretty much already done, and they got all that stuff ready to go. They're just waiting for Thursday. They also basically said it would be under an hour. So keep in mind that if you have a 5 to 10 minute gameplay demo of Valhalla, which is, hopefully we get some good gameplay demos here. We don't know what else is going to be there really. Just heard that there's going to be plenty of AA stuff there as well. So don't be surprised if that happens. Cyberpunk, we're not hearing anything about that. We're not hearing anything about Batman really. Doesn't mean
it's Microsoft doesn't only make AA games.
Yeah, we're not talking about even Microsoft first party. We're talking about this is the third party. This is the third party event, right? So we're talking third party partners. But yeah, along with Valhalla, I'm sure maybe you'll have another AAA or two. But hearing definitely some AA stuff there. So good game's a good game. We know, we've heard it all. Blah blah blah. It'll be under an hour long. So that's confirmed by Greenberg. And they did confirm multiple digital events kind of inside Xboxes up until that point. But the May one is the third-party partners one where they're going to show Series X stuff. And then in July, which I just said in my last one, the video before my last one, that I was hearing that it's definitely going to be in July, not June. That is official now. There is a July event, and that's where the first-party stuff comes in. Tim, when it comes to the third, both of these events, what are your expectations on the 7th and in July? The differences there, and then I want to go to Zalker and we'll come to Colt and stuff, but kind of what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, well, it's going to be, I think the rollout is unbelievable. I think they knocked it out of the ballpark as far as the way they stayed with this, because they, it was fluid, never changing. We've heard things that changed even within a month.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you were hearing things and others. Listen, you're also talking June, which is going to be most likely Lockhart. So, you're going to have the third party. I think it's going to be a good show. I think it's going to talk about smart delivery. Again, it's showing them out in the forefront, getting people talking about the system. I think the games will show off well. And then June we'll have Lockhart. I think that's logical. If we don't have Lockhart by June, then I don't know. But I
Again,
think
we were already
that's,
supposed to have that, but that
Yes.
pretty much the
Originally it was
whole
supposed to
sickness
be
thing kind of pushed all that stuff back.
right.
Lockhart's a
Originally,
real thing?
yeah. So yeah, originally it was supposed to, but they've changed things, and I think they've changed things to be agile and fluid against obviously Sony in the competition. They don't want to get caught out there, and they don't want to obviously shoot first. And then yeah, I'm hearing great things. Originally, and I said this on the show, it was going to be the April hardware event, and then they were going to go balls to the wall for an E3. Now it's, I think you're going to get a good show on in July. And they might, who knows? It sounds like Xbox 2020 is going to be spanned into the, into the launch whenever that is. And I think they're going to do this right. I think that they've done so many things right this long, and everything sounds like it's weighing up. I think people are going to be happy in July. I think we're going to get 2 or 3 new games, AAAs, and I think that they're going to be what we want as far as mature type games and realistic graphics. And obviously, you might have some other stuff. Xbox has 15 studios. They're hiring still like crazy. They're still building these studios.
They're giving teams more time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, In Exile is now getting funded, like getting pushed, because, like somebody told me at Microsoft, if you create an IP, you show it, they're going to support it. So, In Exile, as far as people saying that's a AA studio, that's going to be something of the past.
Did they got 100 people now, Tim? Is that what I read?
Yeah, they got 100. They got 100 people, and like I said, the right people are very happy with Brian Fargo and what he's been pitching, and yeah, they're going to grow. So that's going to be a AAA game. What they have, they got so many studios that we haven't heard anything. There's no reason not to be excited. This is a time to be excited. There's nothing wrong with it. So I think that they're going to have a good show. Like I said, you don't have to go. It'll be like a figure an E3 type trip. What they would have at the E3 for their third party. Lockhart will deal with that in June, and then we finish off in July, and then hopefully they blow the cover off the place, and they do what we've all been waiting for, and show those new IPs, AAAs, and games that the last thing that they need to show, and then they do it, and then smooth sailing from there.
Just hype it up. We're also gonna have shout out to almost 2,300 people watching live, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. Share this out with a buddy. We do appreciate it. Also, Randall Thor says, Dealer hates me, of course, Randall. I told Colt to tell you to jump in here, man. If you want to you could have asked this yourself, but he wants to know from Hidden Xperia, Randall Thornton 18, he says, do you think there is a chance that they'll basically do what the Call of Duty Warzone multiplayer is doing and offer maybe a Halo Infinite multiplayer for free, like some of its competition? Remember, like all these big games are offering these big modes, getting a ton of 60 million downloads for Warzone already. Do you think Halo will kind of do a similar thing? It can only make sense.
I don't think so, but I now thought about it again. Maybe I don't know. I don't think so, because Halo's always been like a sort of one package game, but at the same time, it's always been a very modular game with loads of different parts sort of like stuck together. So like obviously multiplayer, forge, theater, campaign. So I don't think they'll do it, but at the same time, I wouldn't be against it if they did. My only worry with that would be if the multiplayer went free to play, how they'd monetize it. Because obviously, like we were saying earlier, if something's free to play, then it needs to make money somehow. And that somehow is microtransactions, which are like my biggest fear in gaming right now. So my answer is I don't think so. I couldn't see him at the same time, though. I'm not sure. They've said that after how popular Warzone has been. I honestly don't know. Honestly, like
it's definitely happening.
God, I mean, if it does, I'm gonna be happy and also worried at the same time. I don't think it will do personally. I could see the reasons for and against. I don't think it will do, but I don't know. It's certainly an interesting thought.
Maybe just one mode, or there's other ways they can figure that out. Plus, remember that Game Pass itself, like, has allowed them to do things they just couldn't do before with that monetization model. But yeah,
Reach more people.
Well,
Yeah.
Game Pass is the one reason that I could see him not doing it actually, because like if it's you can get the game so cheap on Game Pass,
Yeah.
like is there really any reason to make it free to play if you can pay like a maximum of like $10 a month and get it? Like, is there really any need to go free to play with that? Because
But
that's
Hidden,
pretty much
how popular would Halo Infinite multiplayer mode be if it was free to play?
Oh, it'd be huge. Like, even it doesn't matter if it was like classic or not, it'd be massive, like undoubtedly. Yeah, now you said that. Now you said that.
But what would it be though? Would it be not to interrupt, but would it be like a war zone? Like, would it be the battle royale type thing?
I don't know. I could see him doing like Dealer was saying, like maybe like an esports mode or something. If they really went into HCS with Infinite, then I could see it being like, I don't know, like 4v4 or something. Being free to try and pull in people to the esports scene, but I don't know. I mean, everything so far is suggesting that they're not doing battle royale in Infinite. I mean, we had that whole the only BR in Infinite is a battle rifle thing like a year ago. People have been pretty adamant that there's no battle royale. There are some people that still believe there will be. I'm still not 100% sure that they won't do it, but if anything was to go free to play, I reckon it would either be like an esports thing or a potential battle royale.
Yeah.
If they end up doing one, which I mean they probably won't, but if they did, then maybe that.
Well, only time will tell. Zalker, your take on the two events, buddy. You're not choking on popcorn anymore. May 7th, more third-party based event system, and then in July they're going basically their E3 essentially, revealing a ton of new games. They got new game announcements and more there. What is your kind of expectations and your thoughts on these two different events?
For Thursday's event, I actually, I think it is going to be third party, obviously, and like they're going to show some, indie games, all that. I don't know, I kind of expect like an ID at Xbox kind of thing, showing up with Bambi. But I don't know. I think to me, it's more of it's more like a chess game at this point. Tim talked about, the Lockhart should have been shown. I think they are waiting for Sony to go first. I think that if they were going to talk about Lockhart, they're going to show the price of Lockhart, and they don't want to do that until the Series X's price goes up, or is announced. So I think this is like basically a chess match between the two. I know we've heard the rumor of Sony having something in June, right? Like an event for the PS5. If they have an event then, they're going to announce the price, because what other event do they have planned? They said they were going to be at hundreds of, shows, and they've been at 0. So I just don't. I think it's going to be between these two companies going head to head and battling for a dollar. And to me, it even gets me more excited, because I really do think that Xbox, from the rumors that we're hearing, and like all those things that the insiders, that Xbox actually does want to be extremely competitive with the price of the Xbox Series X with Sony. And so these events, especially the first party event, I think they're going to come out and just go freaking ham. We've heard about inXile hiring AAA developers from, Sony Santa Monica, getting one of their lead combat developers the guy that freaking had Kratos be a badass, guys, in God of War. Like that, one of those dudes is working at inXile right now. So like all these people are going all over these development and initiative. Just hired a new senior guy that's on Twitter everywhere. I mean,
the hero guy.
These games aren't small, people. What was that, Tim?
Yeah.
It's the hero guy. I don't know if you guys, at least that's what I think. Remember they had a listing that they wanted the hero character or somebody to build a hero, and that's what his on his LinkedIn it talked about that. But yeah, I think
he worked at Respawn, and he was one of the main senior guys on Last Jedi. So
yeah, I mean,
like
they're still hiring like crazy.
Yeah, and they are, and that's what I think they're going to show. Like, because they didn't just say like the first party blowout's going to be just games. They said first party announcements and games. So I think they're going to showcase their talent. I think they're going to showcase the talent working on the tech on the Xbox Series X. There's a lot of stuff that's about to happen, and if you're not excited for Xbox, like I don't even know what to tell you. Like you're never going to be at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
but
I mean,
Sony,
once they see the new games like Fable and all
Well,
that, then that'll
Fable,
definitely be
Fable,
like, okay, if you don't believe us now, or you don't think there's a good reason to kind of be happy about gaming now, then you just fuck off.
Well, and Fable looks freaking like what we've heard. People have said, like leaks and people that claim to have seen the game. they've said that like it's apparently like this is going to be like a technical powerhouse. Like they're here to
Ray
show
tracing.
this is what the Series X could do. Freaking enjoy. And Playground Games has been known to say, and I've said this before, they've known to say that they want to be one of the best developers in the world. They have said that themselves in interviews, and they're trying to be that. And I think Xbox trusts them to be one of those developers, just like the Initiative is going to be one of those, you know, and just like Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica are one of those. So yeah, they have their ducks in a row, man, and we're gonna see this summer. All I know is that at least the summer in July and all that is not gonna be fucking boring, and we're gonna have something to talk about and maybe even play, you know, Ghost of Tsushima, all that stuff. So either way, boom, I'm ready.
They definitely know what all the prices are for their systems, but yeah, I mean they could be. I mean, this is why I talked in videos about how they could just do like Nvidia and wait X amount of time before they reveal something like the low end Xbox to give their high end product that all that perception of the brand, right? It's one of those things that's been done before, and they know the prices they're aiming for. That's what they told themselves. You know, what can we build in X year for X amount of dollars? They know what all the prices are. They're just kind of waiting. And again, I'm really curious to start seeing and hearing more about that. We've heard developers that are already working on it. They talked about how quick the CPU was. We expect to hear developers complaining about the RAM. But of course, you know, when it comes down to it, it's a quantum leap over the base model of the current generation Xbox. And D-Batch, these multiple events, kind of the same thing to you. I'll kind of run through everything. You know, basically what I asked Zalker, your expectations and kind of what you want to see from these two different third and first party events here.
I want to see the third party games really pushing the Xbox Series X, and just the fact that they're being showcased on Thursday's event, I think they will. And I'm stoked. I can't even lie to you. Like I'm marking out. I can't wait to see these games running on next generation hardware. And I know that I'm going to be looking at the definitive versions because, you know, the Xbox Series X is more powerful. So I know this is going to be the definitive version, and I can't wait for us to have this footage and we could compare it against, you know, other platforms, you know, to see the metrics. I'm excited for that. And also too, the event in July, and then the, you know, here we're going to see stuff in June, and said every month we're going to start seeing stuff or is, you know, of the next generation throughout the year. It's a good time. I think Zucker hit the nail on the head there, where he said they have all their ducks in a row. They do, and they're getting the top. I've been saying this for quite some time, that they're getting the top talent in the industry, and I think it's really going to be showcased this time with their first party exclusives. I think they got something to prove, because that's where they got their shellacking, you know, with the first party exclusives. And I don't know Microsoft as a company really just sit back and you know, take an ass whooping, if I can say it such a way. They usually, you know, learn from it, train hard, and come out, you know, fucking swinging. I think this next generation, I think all gamers are really gonna be winners here. I think Sony's gonna have fantastic exclusives. I think Microsoft's gonna have I think their exclusives are gonna be something else, because they're building like super teams over there. Like their developers that they have, like the Playground Studios, you know, Initiative. It's like a super team. Seriously,
We're exiting the era of 30 FPS, D, for the most part, like on console, finally.
Oh, I can't. Honestly, that's one of the things I'm most excited for the next generation. That console gamers get to finally experience 60 frames per second.
There's nothing like games like Assassin's Creed and stuff. Yeah,
we're in for a treat. And honestly, we don't have that long to wait. Thursday can't come soon enough. I can't wait, man.
And can I say one more thing?
Oh, yeah,
sorry, my bad. So the other thing is that I will never forget this. IGN one time said that, oh, you know, Xbox doesn't have games. They said on some show or something, and they were like, you know, that's the narrative that's going out there. And the number one thing that really irritated me is that a lot of people kind of ran with that, and then they went with like, oh, you know,
they weren't exactly lying.
Well, I'm talking about just like in general, like they have nothing. Like it's just like, nah.
If you're talking about third party, yeah, of course.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like things like that to me, and people were like, we want a roadmap. We don't know what Xbox is doing. Well, I love that Phil put that tweet out saying, we heard you. You want transparency. You want to know what we're doing. And we're going to do that all the way leading up to the next generation. So yeah, they're not trying to get out of the console space. They're not trying to get out of gaming, people. If anything, they're freaking, they cannonballed into the fucking pool. They're going hard over here. and I love every minute of it. Like, I want to see what they're working on. I want to see every game, and that's what they're doing. Like, I honestly just can't wait for everything. I just can't wait for these next 6 months. Like, I want to go through a time chamber and go to RDNA 3 and see everything.
Give me some of that RDNA 3. Also, shout out to everybody that's still watching this live, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. Let's try to get to close to 1,000 likes before the end of the show, and much more after the fact. Again, Cole, I kind of want your take on this, definitely. And by the way, we've been getting a lot of requests to do a live show after the fact. So if anybody here on the panel wants to join me, we'll be doing a live show after Thursday's event, and maybe have a guest or two on there. And again, I figured, why not? We might as well do a live stream and talk to everybody about what we just saw running on Series X and kind of touch base there. But Colt, what kind of same question to you, man? In chat, let us know your thoughts as we move along and go forward as well, guys. But third-party event, first-party event, what are your thoughts, Colt? What are you kind of hoping to see there?
I mean, I'm hoping that at the third-party event that they're going to talk about how these games will be transformative and different on the new console, like show how quickly they get in. But I don't know if they're going to even use that sort of presentation to show what the new console can do with these games. I'm hoping to see 60 frames on massive AAA multi-plats, but I don't know how many are going to be at the show. Aaron Greenberg's tweet kind of alluded to that there will be small games and some big games at the third-party show. But as far as first party, I'm hoping that there at least 10 of the 15 Xbox Game Studios have something to say at that event, at the first party event. I hope that Compulsion and obviously Playground, and I know we can see Turn 10 and Halo and Coalition, they can do their thing, but I'm hoping that we see what these other studios are working on. Like Obsidian has something to tease. Compulsion has something to tease. I look at the studio list. I've memorized them because I've talked about them so much. That's what's important for me, because like Zach was saying, Phil said that they need to be transparent and they want to show us what they're working on, and they have to talk about it instead of waiting until a game is nearly finished to show it, which is they're doing with Halo right now. And I don't like that.
Okay, so what do you like?
I like a ton of games. I mean, I don't like that they feel like, we just don't want to show you anything until it's almost done. And games take a long time, and
they got curb stomped over Scalebound, and Sea of Thieves was shown to us for years and years, and Crackdown was shown to us for 3 years.
One Scalebound was out of their control. Platinum dropped the ball majorly.
Yep.
And Fable
I'm just
Legends,
saying that's why they kind of shy away from it.
That's the point. That's the point. That's the point, Colt, because now all these games are in their control, right? Like, all
yes,
these games
and
control the narrative of what they want to
Fable
shape.
Legends was under Lionhead Studio. Those guys were making Kinect games before that. I mean, that was a mess. But
it was Microsoft's fault, all of that, right?
The fans, only thing the fans wanted to see, honestly, in 2019 for E3, they wanted to see just maybe a logo or two. That would have been fine. I mean, Microsoft couldn't even do that. They know they've got all this stuff in the workings. They're trying to hold it really careful. And I just want to speak out and say that you just need to, if you're not ready to show something, like if it looks too rough at its current rendering state, get a logo up there or get a pre-rendered something to give people a feel.
I don't think it's if it looks great. I think it's that I think they held, personally, at this point, it's almost obvious that they held things back because they want to start the Series X on a good footnote. They want to have everything come out this summer. People are going to be like, holy shit, look at everything that they just showed. Here's our new console that's going to make everything look insane. That's what I think they did. I think a lot of this stuff is ready to be shown. I think a lot of stuff was ready to be shown last year.
We said that at E3, yeah. I mean, when the comments came out and blah, blah.
And even at XO, and then they're having an event a month. At this point, it's I think they just waited, and in these next 6 months, they're just going to be like, here's everything.
But it will be they're going to do these monthly things, and then June's going to be the really big, or July. We're not sure exactly when their biggest super reveal is, the one that's going to replace what E3 was going to be. But it'll be a little bit difficult as Xbox fans or content creators to say, well, I mean, there's more, but they just wanted to show this for this month. And next month they'll probably show this. But in the end, it won't matter. Like once the console kicks off and all the games are able
So
to
basically, they just need to tell you, hey, this is what we're all working on, and throughout the months, we will show you each of these things. We just need to know that, hey, this is why you should come over here and check us out. Like we do have, it's kind of like when they revealed God of War. Like we knew we wouldn't see that game for years and years and years, but Sony are like, look, whose side are you going to be on? We have God of War. We have these things that we're working on. Even if you don't see them for a couple years, you still kind of know that it's coming. And I get what you're saying. Like you want to see a little bit of those big things and know that they exist, but also that'll also explain why maybe you didn't focus on it in this month. Maybe it's in the month after, the one after that.
There's a double standard too, because we haven't heard of any new games from PlayStation since 2017, correct? Since Ghost of Tsushima was shown, and they've been delivering every year.
That means they got a bunch to announce as well.
Yes. So Sony hasn't shown us anything new since 2017. Xbox has been waiting to show stuff. So that's kind of the same situation. The difference is PlayStation has had at least one or two excellent games every year, and Microsoft hasn't.
Not last year.
So yeah, Gears 5 is amazing. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Sony didn't have one last year.
Yeah, they
Sorry,
had
not to be an ass.
Yeah, so it's just I'm kind of get tired of people saying, well, PlayStation's been delivering year after year. It's like, well, I mean, we don't know anything. I'm buying a PS5 day one. I have no idea what software is other than faith. This is kind of what I was getting at. And I don't have faith in console or console brands, so to speak. I don't go to church over this stuff. But I'm buying a PS5 day one. I have no idea what they're offering other than the goodwill of what they've delivered for the PS4. The difference with Xbox, I'm on this huge soapbox right now, but the difference with Xbox is they didn't deliver, but we know they have massive potential and they've totally changed, like totally new leaf with what Xbox Game Studios is. So I can say, wow, I'm really excited about what's to come, just the same as I could say about PS5 at this point. So I'm really excited.
So you think Sony are going to deliver because they have delivered here recently in the last couple of years for the most part, but you think Xbox will deliver because they actually haven't been delivering, but been getting things ready to deliver? It's two reasons, I mean, two different reasons why you think they'll both deliver.
Yeah, I sat there and talked with the executive that obviously they had held stuff back at that E3 in 2019. I'm like, oh my gosh, all you have to do is just give a little tease, just a logo up on the screen, and it goes a long way for an Xbox fan saying, oh my gosh, this year's been rough, but next year's looking great. I mean, that's just how we are, right? We do feel.
I feel like there's not a lot of games too announced for the end of this.
Tim, was that you coming through the fucking portal? Like, what? Are you all right?
25 away. 25 away.
25 away. Oh, you talking about likes?
No, the world record. 2,300.
23.
Well, give us a yell, Tim.
No, we had like
9 lives. I know games are coming. I know more than anyone. I know that. I mean, there's 15 studios. There's like 20 projects they're working on.
Can I'm going to throw this out there.
The point was they just need to put that like line out in the water like right now because they are coming.
Well, they are. They're doing it on the 7th. They're doing it in July. Like, I mean, there's right now is basically the next couple months. So again, I mean, I want to kind of wrap this show up and we'll kind of end it on Xperia, on your expectations maybe on what you want to see from Infinite or other first party stuff from that July event, and maybe some third party stuff in a couple days. Again, the third party stuff we're hearing is going to be a lot of plenty of AA stuff on that third party event in a couple days, but also games like Valhalla. What are your kind of thoughts? And we'll kind of cap it off around there, guys. Everyone who's joining us, everyone who joined us, 2,300 tonight, guys. Thank you so much for what you do. If you hit the like button or shared it, we do appreciate it. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that stuff. But yeah, this is kind of our outgoing topic, and I want to end it with Xperia, and we'll get into some shout outs and stuff. But go ahead and fire away there.
Yeah, so in regards to July for Infinite specifically, I want them to like basically do what Xbox are doing this summer for Infinite. Just go all out, like campaign, multiplayer, like other new stuff as well. Just go all out, like market the hell out of it, and really continue to market after that. In regards to first party stuff as well, I mean, Xbox are clearly going to go like fully into first party stuff this generation, and I hope that the July event is like the blowout that we all want it to be. I want them to literally just lay all the cards out on the table and go like, look, this is what we've got. We've completely improved from last gen. We've got games of all different genres that are going to interest all different groups of people. Come to our console, buy our console, play games on it, player exclusives. Just really like lay all the cards out on the table and just basically just show off how much they've improved since 2013. I think that's the real thing. Proving that they are no longer an underdog, that they can go toe to toe with Sony, unlike last generation. That's the biggest thing, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and in regards to the one this Thursday, I don't know. I'm just expecting them to show off like how good games will look on the console. I think the biggest thing is that they're going to be showing off games that will also be on the PS5, but they're going to be showing them off first on the Xbox Series X.
Mhm.
That's a really smart idea, I think. Originally, I was a bit confused as to why they were doing third party first, but now it kind of makes sense. Like, oh, so they're going to basically pull the rug out like from Sony's feet and be like, look, these are what these games are going to look like on the Series X, even though they're also going to be on the PlayStation 5. I think if they went all out with that on Thursday, that'd do a lot for the Series X because people would be pulled to that console first for those games over the PS5. And yeah, I mean, the whole Summer of Games thing is interesting as well. I'm not sure if you guys have spoken about that yet on the show, but the whole thing that Jeff Keighley announced.
Oh yeah, Jeff Keighley's Monopoly plan.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will rule gaming events.
All announcements belong to me. That thing's kind of interesting. I'm going to be interested to see how or if Xbox sort of do work with him. I assume they will do. I don't see why they wouldn't. But it's going to be interesting to see, mostly for me, how they market Infinite from now on. Because we're going to have like an entire marketing cycle, essentially condensed down into like 4 or 5 months. I have a feeling they're going to be going like really, really aggressive with the marketing for that game. I hope they do. I really hope they do, because this game I don't want to say it's make or break for Halo, because I don't think it is. People have said that like, oh, if Infinite flops, then Halo's dead. Like, no, it's not. Like that's not true, I don't think. But at the same time, Infinite is a massive game for Halo as a franchise, and also for Xbox as a console. I mean, years ago, Phil Spencer was quoted as saying that if we lose our way with Halo, then we lose our way with Xbox. And I think that has been true in recent years. And I'm hoping that now with Infinite and the Series X, they can get back on track with it and bring Halo back to the top, bring Xbox back to the top, and make everyone happy. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Someone else super chatted earlier talking about, sorry, I mean, all that stuff's gone now. Colt was up on his little shoebox ranting, but talking about how I think someone from the Arkham Asylum and City staff were writing Infinite. I don't know if you know anything about that, but
yeah, that's been public for a while now. The guy who I think did the Arkham games, which I still need to play. I've heard really good things about them.
Oh my god, you have to play them. Arkham Asylum, then City. Play soon.
Yeah, I seriously need to.
It's so good.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the one that's working on the story this time. So I've heard very good things about those game stories, like really good things about those stories, which makes me excited.
That's good.
But yeah, we'll just have to see. I'm intrigued to see how they get us out of this mess that Halo 5 set us up.
Hard reset.
Like I said earlier, I think there really are some good ways to get us out of it. But we'll just have to see what they do.
Yeah, we'll end up seeing. KY Bob says 1,000 likes before the fact. RDX is truly a podcast that, oh, goddamn. KY says all others have been come to judge. You're going to be judged against it. No, they're not. Everyone's got their own little niche, but I appreciate it, buddy. We've got our own little niche and pocket of support here, and we do appreciate everybody who rocks out with us, guys. And thanks, KY Bob. Do appreciate it, buddy. So I mean, that's my take on the events. Like we said, we're hearing this about the event on the 7th. I'm just glad to see some gameplay stuff. We spent a long time locking down the specs as the first show to really do that and know what the fuck we were talking about and putting channels on it and shit. And actually coming out and knowing that, hey, that was the 9.2 chip, clock 200 megahertz higher. It's exactly 10.2. It's the same chip, clocked a little higher. Series X, all the specs locked down. We knew that power output, we had that knocked down. Well, just all the stuff that we've been out there on, and now we can finally say, hey, let's see some games running on this stuff, and that's what we're really, really excited about. And we do, again, guys, we want to know all your thoughts on that. The first party stuff, Again, there's a reason we've been talking about the need for big blockbuster AAA games on the Microsoft side for years now. When we first started RDX, that's one of the first things we started talking about. And it wasn't because of a negative trend or for attention or cringy ass bullshit. And we certainly don't harp on it every week because that shit gets boring and old, but we do and always have been talking about the need for bigger, better software. And Phil has acknowledged it, said that it was a problem. Everybody has talked about how it's a problem. Behind the scenes, we've talked to executives. Yes, they know it's a problem and they are trying to tackle that. But unfortunately, it's been a long road to that point. And, you know, these two events are going to be absolutely essential to how the brand is perceived, how the new system is perceived. And I think they know that. I think they know they've got to show games like Fable. I think they know they've got to show how good their games can look. Even though they scale and come down from PC, I think that's a benefit. I think high-end PC features come down to Series X. Otherwise, you don't have a need to make those higher-end features because there is no higher-end platform. I think that's actually a benefit to run on something like PC and come down to a console that is actually stronger than 99% of PCs out there. So again, I think they've got a really cool plan. I think xCloud is going to help them leverage gaming on a global scale like no one else has seen or is prepared to do. I think Game Pass on all these platforms is going to help them create a vibe and a certain hype of just, hey, here's some games. Go in there and play as many as you can and want to for $10 a month. And I think the fact that scales across all those platforms is absolutely, it's all coming together. And I think a lot of people are seeing that now. And we've been talking about this shit for so long. It's just good to see it coming into the light and all this stuff coming together. And also the community that's formed around us. You're not here for no reason. We do appreciate that. We don't take that for granted. We want to thank you guys for what you do, hitting the like button, sharing our stuff out, and supporting everybody on the panel. Check out Hidden Xperia and everybody here. We'll do some outros. And again, I just want to say hi and thanks to everyone in the chat and everyone that sent me DMs. I can't keep up. I've almost given up on that, but don't take it personally. Same for Xbox. We do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. And to all the super chats we didn't get to, I'm sorry. Again, try my best. So, Colt, thanks for coming once again, man. You've been here since the very beginning. And tell people what you've been playing, buddy, and where can people find you?
It's been almost 3 years on RDX.
Mhm.
I mean, I think it was like June, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah.
When you started this show.
Yeah, it's been about 3 years. Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for bringing D and I on like OG, right, D? Like
Oh,
back
man.
in the day. It's amazing. I've been playing a bunch of stuff, playing the Call of Duty remaster, Modern Warfare 2. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins DLC that I didn't finish, and just I don't know, been really enjoying this time. It's super exciting. I was thinking while you guys were talking about how I was on my soapbox, I'm like, yeah, I did kind of sound like I didn't think games were coming. I mean, obviously I know they are. I just
You're ready. You're ready.
It's gonna be, yeah, I'm ready. I'm super excited. It's gonna be bits and pieces. And one thing I was trying to say before we finished there was that by the end of the summer and was gonna get into fall, like it won't matter. Like we'll have seen everything, throughout the months. Like all these pieces will have like backfilled together where we see everything that's coming on the consoles, either multiplayer or exclusive. It's gonna be amazing. I'm super excited, and I'm glad that I get to talk about it in videos and on podcasts. So appreciate it.
Yeah, and where can people find you, buddy?
They can find me on Twitter at Colt Eastwood and YouTube at Colt Eastwood. And the speech you gave a minute ago was beautiful.
I want to give a shout out to Dragonheart Yobi. He says, first time here, hashtag peace, love, and life. Thank you so much, sir. We've also got D-Batch, buddy. I know you kind of had some kids in the background. You're kind of busy today, but I'm still glad we got your opinions on what we did. Where can people find you, bud? And what have you been playing?
You can find me at Twitter at D_Batch, and of course YouTube D-Batch. Playing a little bit of Streets of Rage, some Doom, Resident Evil 3, and of course Gears Tactics. So I'm trying to get through all of them. And you can tell my house is just upside down right now. So whenever I get 10-20 minutes, I just pop in and try to play something. I'm really excited for Thursday's show, though. It's time. I just can't wait for them to show these games. Like the wait's over. This is like the main event now. This is like the warm up fight.
Yeah, it is.
The main event's coming in July, obviously, but this is a start. And like I said, once again, most exclusives matter. I don't want people to take my words out of context. exclusives absolutely matter. But the truth of the matter is that most gamers play multiplats on these consoles. And the fact that they're showing the multiplats on the Xbox Series X, once again, being the more powerful console, so they're going to have the definitive versions. I think it's a really smart move from Microsoft, and I'm excited to see these games. And I think after, well, if they have a good showing, I think a lot of gamers are going to start talking about the Xbox Series X, and I think the anticipation will ramp up even more. I can't wait till Thursday comes, man.
Yeah, and two, I mean, when I said that we were gonna have a show after Thursday's event. Again, I don't know exactly who here was actually going to be there yet, but I'm sure a couple of you at least will show up. There was a lot of people saying, hey, yeah, that's amazing. A show during, a time in the UK, or it's not 1 or 2 a.m., right? Xperia. So again,
exactly, dude.
We have a lot of people that are super excited just for the fact that it's actually going to be at a good time for them. And two, again, there's a lot of live shows going up, and I mean, people are like, if there's any live shows, it definitely should be at least an RDX. So again, that's why I wanted to try to do that. And again, we'll probably make it like a 30, 40-minute show. It won't be no 2-hour show, but it'll definitely be something that we'll be doing. But either way, D, good to have you, buddy. Tim Dog, you're still here. Thank you for being patient, buddy. What have you been playing and where can people find you, man? Any final words?
I've been playing Street of Rage 4, the game that just came out on Game Pass, which I like it. Streets of Rage 4. Destiny 2 over the weekend with some friends, and still got to finish Control. I don't know if I'm going to get back into it. I might just start this Doom Eternal, as you say. I'd like to thank Kid Xperia. Thank you for coming on. I know it's late. Honestly, you're such a nice guy. Really cool stuff, and I obviously I'm a Halo fan myself. They've been there day one too, but it's really nice to see somebody with such passion like yourself and get success doing something that you love. And I think it's great that you came on. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter, xCloud TimDog, and here every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And good job for fans and everyone who came down. 2,300. We hit 2,275, but I think the record was 2,300, right?
No, we did like 3,800 last E3 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing great numbers, and really appreciate everyone tuning in and listening to our opinions and our takes on everything. So I just want to say thank you, and thanks again, Hidden.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks a lot, man.
Zalker87, buddy. Where can people find you? What have you been playing?
You guys can find me on Twitter, Zalker87, YouTube, Zalker87. Try to put content out. I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. I beat Assassin's Creed 2. I'm about to beat Brotherhood. I've been playing Streets of Rage 4. Last time we were on here, I beat freaking Gears Tactics. I've been playing a lot of damn games, man. A lot of fun. Obviously, like being stuck here at the house, obviously got a lot more time. But overall, thanks for the show was awesome. Everybody is awesome. The chat, you guys make everything what it is. We're nothing without you. And I appreciate everybody in here. Lethal, you did awesome moderating. Obi, everybody, just the whole panel. And Xperia, man, your knowledge and Halo, buddy, damn. Good shit, bro. Like, honestly, like we were talking a little bit beforehand. He's like, oh, this, and this planet's this. And I was just like, all right, well, I'm going to go shut the fuck up in the corner. He knows exactly what he's talking about, folks. Check his channel out. Like, honestly, like anything Halo, like at this point, I'm just going to DM this guy and be like, so who's this guy? And he's going to have an encyclopedia ready for you guys.
You get, get any weird DMs from a little Greek guy with a little sword in his hand, just ignore him. Xperia, it was good. It was good having you on, buddy. And again, we were supposed to have you on last week, but my internet went out. If anybody's wondering what happened to last week's show. And again, thanks for being a good sport and hanging in there and coming on and listening to us rant about bullshit and chiming in. Again, man, tell people where they can find you and what have you been playing.
Firstly, again, I just want to thank Tim Dog and Zalka for saying that. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil recently. Resident Evil is like one of my second loves in gaming besides Halo.
Resident Evil 3?
So Resident Evil 3, been playing 4 recently. I'm about to start playing 0 and 1 again. I love it all. Resident Evil 3 I loved it so much. Like, not quite as good as 2, but like amazing still. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Hidden Xperia, Twitter, Hidden Xperia, Twitch, Hidden Xperia. pretty much all my handles are hidden Xperia, so I'm quite easy to find. Just looking forward to the future of Halo. Fingers crossed, it's what we all hope it is.
I could hear
Fingers
you like
crossed.
just puckering up saying that. You're like, ah, well,
Dude,
yeah.
it's been like the Sahara Desert out here in Halo for 5 years. We just want something at this point.
Yeah, and give you something more to talk about too, and make things
Yeah.
more exciting there. So that's awesome, man. And again, thanks for coming on, man. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
And maybe
Thanks for
again,
getting me on, dude. I appreciate it.
yeah, of course. And maybe if they talk about some shit and you want to talk about it with us again, man. I mean, maybe we'll hit you up and see if you want to come on again. It's always up to you. But the fans appreciated it. Everyone supporting appreciated it. And people loved seeing you on, so we do appreciate it, man. And to everyone, again, that chimed in live, everyone here still listen to us ramble, 1,700 plus sitting here, listen to us do outros. We do appreciate it, guys. Trying not to die as the show closes out. But, again, Fonz, he couldn't be, he left a little early. And, of course, follow Fonzarelli at the Grounded Gamer, where you will not see him making any fucking videos whatsoever. And we do appreciate everything you guys do. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, show a buddy, tell a friend. And thanks. We are gonna get out of here.
Later, everybody.
And I've been playing a little bit of. I just beat Modern Warfare 2. I just beat the game, guys. It's pretty good. It's actually worth $20. I couldn't believe it. Activision didn't fuck us over. They didn't fuck us over, guys. So if you want to pick up Modern Warfare 2, you actually don't have to feel bad if you do buy it. It's actually worth the money.
It does look good.
There's no multiplayer though.
good.
No multiplayer right now, but there's a rumor that it could be coming. But I don't give two shits. So
Jeff
also a rumor
Rabinowitz
that,
told us.
There's also a
Rabinowitz.
rumor that a Mass Effect trilogy remake's coming out.
That's
Yeah, I
definitely,
wish.
that's definitely
They just had a thing. EA just had a thing, and Shinobi's hinting it.
I mean, that's something we had already said that we were hearing months and months ago on the show. But yes.
Well, that's how it works. We hear stuff months ago, and then it comes true.
Well, you know what? I got to hit the button where we go off air. So thanks, guys, for watching.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later.
So you guys, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.